Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are ready to go. Don't be a dick. Lick the like button, please. Uh, oh, thank you. Now our ratio is great. We have amazing things to watch. Some of you may have saw this already. We need to analyze this together. We may have seen a break in the matrix from Jay Regier over in Kansas, and we need to break this down piece by piece by piece. I hope you are all doing well tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I know time served just finished. He's going to take the day off tomorrow. Well wishes that way. I'm seeing everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. We have CRD. Yay! Lucy, Brian, and Kimmy. Which one though? Is it Brian or Kimmy? Lisa B. Mayer, of course. Laura in Michigan. MB. Richard Harrison, my friend. Karen Evans. Oh, who else? Who else? Courtney. But she's got some problems with her internet, so she's on her phone right now. Orlando Chiquita's here. Donna's here. Love it. Okay, guys. So, we have, some of you may have seen it. I think we need to watch it together. Billy Elliot is here, making me feel very lovely, as usual. You guys are amazing. I have to be honest, I already made dinner because my daughter was hungry. So, dinner's been made already, and I've just poured a cup of coffee, which I need to add some cream and sugar to. Tell me what you had for dinner tonight, and if you didn't like what you had, tell me what you wish you had. Um, oh, Amy has got a date for her pacemaker. That's good news. Jerry's here. Jerry's great. Um, seriously, guys, been a great day today. I've been very productive. Kay's auditors laugh like hell. Making me laugh today. Making me laugh. Guys, Credence and Mikey hit 16K. I'm so proud and happy for them. That's awesome. I love, oh, A&W double bacon cheese. Okay, first of all, in Canada, well, I haven't been to A&W in a long time, but they call it like Mama Burgers and Papa Burgers, not like doubles and singles or whatever. But filet broccoli and banana pudding from Dixie Lords. Thank you for telling us about it, Dixie. Um, what else? What else? What else? Ikadoodle the cat is eating some dinner right now as well. I wouldn't want to guess what it is. Sashina's here. Sashina, I had an audiology test too, and I have weirdly good hearing. The guy was freaked out. He was like, "This is actually weirdly good." I have it in case anybody's an audiologist and doesn't believe me. I'll fucking give you the report. Oh, thank you. Confit chicken primavera, and it was bland. Richard, that's not good. Okay, let's get started on this clip. Some of you may have seen it, maybe not, but we're gonna do it. Jay Fabe, is it Fabe or Fabe? Fabe, Faby. What is it? What do you prefer, Jay? I like to call people what they like. But he or she, look at me fucking just guessing. Um, Jay just had New York style eggplant parm pizza. Nice. Jerry, you're hilarious. Is Streamlabs a person? Yes, Lucy. He is a dick. It's actually a big thing around here. We found Streamlabs. He's a little evil. You got to be careful of him. Okay, so I'm Kitchen Court Cases. It's been almost 5 minutes, which means, yeah, it's appropriate time to introduce yourself finally. My name is Kitchen Court Cases. We watch court in my kitchen. Look at that like button. The ratio is good, but there's still 4 of you out there who are dicks and didn't hit the button. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Anyways, we all know I love Judge Webster in Texas, but I also love Judge Webster in Kansas. Um, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I fast forwarded this. No, we watching it from the beginning because we see 3 things in this video. No, okay, there is an Easter egg in this video. I'm trying to figure out how to make this a competition. If somebody mentions what I noticed earlier, I didn't make a mention of it in any of the videos that I made. I didn't make a point of it in the thumbnail. But if anybody notices it and calls it out, there'll be a prize. So, thank you so much, Sashina. Guys, things are a little different in Kansas. So, without further ado, let's get started. Off I go for 1 second, just while I get these people up here. And look who we have without glasses. Let's just get it out of the way. It's not that she's not wearing her glasses. Hi, my crazy life. Our Fulmer's here. Jennifer Weddington. Nice to see you, Jennifer. Okay, so let's get going. I do want you to be looking extra carefully at a little tiny detail, okay? It's not that she's not wearing glasses, even though I'm aware she's not wearing glasses right now, but keep an eye as we play through. Here we go.
We have the trial waiting. Have to go through it.
See, I wanted to show you guys that because she had no glasses on, but she's going to pop back up here with the glasses. I think Regier, there was a split in the Matrix today, and Jay Regier was messed up. Here by herself.
All right, gentlemen, any announcements?
Judge, this is on a gentleman who is currently in the Butler County Jail on a no bond hold. I'm communicating with Larry Reynolds right now to see if we can't get him in front of the court now. He has some medical issues, so that the jail is wanting to get the case resolved sooner than later. If we could put this that I'm working on, London Hun, to the back of the docket, I'll keep working on that and see if we can't get it before the court before you're done with the docket.
All right, and what's the case number on that?
22 TR 1246.
1246. All right, Ashley, if you've got a heads up on that, we may need that on the docket. All right, thank you, Mr. Patterson. And shall we proceed then on the Hale case, Mr. Regier?
I believe so, Your Honor.
We will now be on the record in 2021 TR 1552, State of Kansas versus Karen Dexter Hale. Jared Regier, Assistant Butler County Attorney, appearing for the state. Ms. Hale appearing in person and pro se. Ms. Hale, we are set for bench trial today on count 1, improper display of a license plate. Count 2, operating a motor vehicle without proof of liability insurance. And count 3, operating a motor vehicle with a child between ages 0 and 13 without restraining systems or seat belts. All of these alleged to have occurred on July 2nd, 2021 in Butler County, Kansas. And Mr. Regier, are you ready to proceed at this time?
I believe so, Your Honor. I will note that based off my notes, this is a defendant that would qualify for diversion. However, if we do proceed to trial in this case, of course, that would no longer be an option. Additionally, I am prepared to offer a plea bargain, but once the trial begins, my offer expires.
Thank you for those notifications to Ms. Hale and the court. Ms. Hale, you've heard what the state is willing to do. My understanding has been from the beginning, your position is you're not the person that committed these offenses. Someone impersonated you, but do you want some time to consider the offers or talk to Mr. Regier before we proceed with trial?
Okay, normally I call that the "it wasn't me" Shaggy defense. Also, hi, Charles. Olivia's doing well. I hope you are doing well too, friend. And everybody else who's just walked in. My coffee is just about to be stirred, and we are watching this hearing set before we get on to some other stuff that is not been posted yet. You'll see. You'll see. But I need to debrief this because, well, I'll explain what happened. Let's just keep going. I hope everybody's good. Can Mr. Regier approve your social security? Mr. Regier, I don't know if his code allows for that, Charles.
I mean, I'm me personally, I'm not guilty. So like I'm not gonna take someone else's mess up, I guess you would say.
All right. So that means you want to proceed with trial,
Yeah.
and you understand that after the trial, Mr. Regier is not going to be offering you a plea offer or diversion.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Okay.
that's
All right. So are you ready to proceed with trial, Ms. Hale?
yes.
All right, Mr. Regier, any opening statements?
Your Honor, the state would waive opening argument at this time.
Ms. Hale, any opening statement?
No.
All right, you may call your first witness, Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, the state calls Master Trooper Brian Grunder to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please proceed, Mr. Regier.
Yes, Your Honor. Please state your name
Wait,
for the record.
excuse me. Before I do, I see you filed an amended information on June 20th.
Regier bot has a malfunction. Also, hi Flying Monkey, hi Polly, my friends. I'm so glad you're all here. We're having a great time. I haven't put the like thing up, but I will. And honestly, if I'm disappointed about our like ratio, it's going to be sad. Don't make me sad. Make me happy.
I did, Your Honor. And the three charges are improper display of tag, a Class C non-person misdemeanor under KSA 8133. Count 2, no proof of insurance, a Class B non-person misdemeanor under KSA 43104 subsection D, and failure to provide child safety restraint, a Class C non-person misdemeanor.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that I did state those correctly, and when I saw amended information, I wanted.
Polly, Phil's not here, but he would like you to email him. So, I know he put it at the end of his live, and also I can get it for you later if you don't get it, or somebody can give you his email. But yes, he would like you to email him. I am Phil's secretary some days. Actually, no, I don't mind at all. I love passing messages on. Just as an aside, one of my many jobs that I've had has been an actual secretary. And listen, don't piss off the girl at the front. Do you know how many resumes I just threw away? I was like, oh, that person's not working here. No way. And just went right into the garbage.
Wanted to double check. All right, again, please proceed. I'm sorry for the interruption.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your name for the record.
Master Trooper Brian R. Grunder,
Where are you employed?
Kansas Highway Patrol.
And how long have you worked as an officer?
Let's see, 21 years.
Were you on active duty in your professional capacity on July 2nd, 2021 at approximately 4:38 p.m.?
Yes.
And at that time, where were you at?
I was on I-35 near milepost 66, which is located in Butler County.
And at the time, were you in a vehicle or on foot?
In a vehicle.
Were you moving at the time, perhaps?
Yes.
And what direction were you facing?
We were northbound.
So where are you at? Could you please describe your immediate surroundings for the court?
It's just it's a turnpike. I mean, it's the turnpike, so it's a 4-lane roadway. It's just open area.
Now, As far as the open area specifically, are there any buildings, trees, billboards, fences nearby in this area?
There's fences.
And if there are, how far from the road would you say? Just a guesstimate.
75 feet.
And you mentioned that this was I-35. Is that a paved road?
Yes.
And you also already mentioned it's a multiple lane highway. Is this a highway which could be used by the public?
Yes.
What was the weather like at the time of the stop, if you recall?
It was sunny and probably hot.
And
Okay, here's the thing. I know I posted this earlier, Hector, and I appreciate everybody watching earlier. But I have a few things to say now that I have to just say. Hi, Rach. Seriously, that's a bad answer. Secondly, Lisa B has just made a huge and hilarious point. A cop showed up for court, but yet this cop can't actually it's like he showed up but he wasn't there or something. Like he actually can't identify this lady properly. And that's sort of the whole theme of this hearing. Anyways, Jay Regier though, as the hearing goes and goes, he gets less put together. He looks more like his computer programming is off or something. I'm not really sure what you would say about it because of the AI, you know.
And any of these things that you've mentioned about the location, did they impair your field of vision in any way?
No.
Are you familiar with KSA 8-133 subsection A?
Yes.
And what does that statute section require to be attached to the rear of passenger vehicles?
License plate.
Your Honor, at this time, I respectfully request the court take judicial notice of KSA 8-133 subsection A.
Notice is taken.
Awesome. I got another little point I'd like to make here. You know, when you're guilty of a crime, you absolutely need a lawyer. But when you are innocent of a crime, I think that would be the most important time to have a lawyer. This is a very bad idea. Like, even if you think you're so super right and they could never not understand the situation, get a fucking lawyer. Right? Right? Oh, me and Jay Regier, oh my God, would never work. I would blow his programming right off.
Secondly, officer, are you familiar with KSA 43104 subsection D1?
Did you say 3104?
Yes.
Yeah, it requires all vehicles to have proof of liability insurance.
Your Honor, I respectfully request the court take judicial notice of KSA 43104 subsection D1.
Notice is so taken.
And lastly, Officer Grunder, are you familiar with KSA 8-1344 subsection A1?
Yes.
And what does that require drivers in Kansas to do when transporting passengers under 4 years old?
Well, shit, guys. I clicked out of it, and maybe that's just a little sign. It's like, pay kitchen, dox yourself. Hold on. I literally press a button, and we could go back, but part of me is
Grunder,
like,
do you consider yourself
wants to go on to what I planned for tonight. But actually, what I want to show you guys is the second video. So we're going to skip right to the end. This is very filmy. Not something I normally do, but this video is entirely posted already. So you can absolutely see this in its entirety. Our former, I know, but it's not scheduled programming. Plus it's fucking hot. That's a good point, Sashina. It might happen. So yeah, this is a total Regeer frame. No, I'm joking. This is my computer now. Oh, once you've got it going, that's the lesson. Rescheduled, yes. But did you see the second part, Lucy? That's the part that I want to show you because I made this video by hitting pause and I went to the next and then I hit play again and we'll see what happens. That's what we're going to show. The second part of it where she comes back onto Zoom where they continue the meeting in the middle. And Jay Regeer looks like he's been caught with his pants down and his dick in a pie. Then we're going to judge. New judge or TPO? You guys decide. Tell me in the chat.
Hey, Missy,
Yes.
is the judge still here?
She's getting back on. Did you get
Okay.
that?
We're ready to take that up. Yes. I think, Jared, you received an email from Sam or Darren, didn't you?
Thank you, Craig. I'm going to plead the fifth.
Update.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my theory is he looks really uncomfortable because he realizes that he is now like he's talking to her and the judge isn't there and she should be. I'm playing this, by the way. This is live now. And he's like, he literally looks like you look when your pants are down, but you have a towel over your lap and you're hoping that the person that walked into your room can't see that.
Or Ashley, has Larry Reynolds came into the meeting?
No, not yet.
Okay, he might not. I sent him an email to try and come in, but he might not get it in time.
Never, Charles. Also, yes, Rach. Yes. He already knows. Orlando Chiquita, #1 fan. I think you're very, very, very
Right.
much
Michelle,
my
I believe you're free
newest
to
or my
go.
oldest fan, Donna.
Do
Love
you-
you.
Was there by chance a video?
Why don't you you can make a written request for discovery through Mr. Regeer in his office, the Butler County Attorney's office. Or you can call him.
Oh yeah. Donna rocks. Thank you so much. OG court watching family. Also, Sashina's reminded me, med check, folks. If you're new here, what that means is, do you take meds? If you do, think about that. If you don't, come and check and tell us in the chat what that's like, because we don't know. Also, name your strain for tonight. I have a blueberry crush, I think is what it's called. And I wish, Richard, I wish. Let's see what else. What else do we got? Oh, I'm Kitchen Court Cases. This is my kitchen. We are watching court here. This is a video I already posted. We're about to go on to a new video that we haven't seen yet. It's a TPO, which means it might get spicy and there's lesbians. Shh. But, anyways, let's see here. Bubba Kush from Heck. Heist all fancy tomatoes. Sashina says, I love it. I love reading all those heist things. It's hilarious. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Streamlabs. There's this guy, Streamlabs, in the chat, very busy, constantly keeping tabs on things. Also runs a bit of a side gambling business. So if you don't want to participate in that, just go ahead and block Streamlabs. If you do want them later, you can unblock. But that is a little tip for you if you find the chat a little too fast. Also, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask us in the chat. We are quite nice here. Oh, also, I'm Canadian. So you have to give me a little bit of deference because I use that as an excuse whenever I get something wrong. And it's handy. Okay, let's continue. She's popped back in the hearing. So just in case nobody watched the video, I'm going to ruin it for you. They continued the hearing halfway through when the cop couldn't identify her. She's didn't leave the hearing and she's stayed on. And Jay Regier down here is like, I'm a little scared. And we'll see here. Sashina, I think I did. I have to admit, I have a hard time adding the new beavers. Oh, Larry Beaver, though. We do have to introduce I would now say we're getting very close to mascot level for Larry Beaver. This is, oh gosh, Larry, my God. Nobody cares about the size of your paperwork, okay? No, seriously, you guys, if you see Larry Beaver does a number of things for us. He is an OG court reference meme. If you get that, you get it. If you don't, you can ask. Secondly, he provides paperwork assistance whenever a judge is not finding paperwork. Larry will pop up and really try and help them. And then thirdly, when YouTube Daddy talks to me and says, you can't show that, Larry Beaver is tasked with making a beaver buffer dam and blocking the thing. Woohoo! Yeah, can we be louder? Okay. Let's go. Thank you, Charles. So if you see Larry Beaver here, Larry is here. I can't sort of leave. If you see Larry Beaver here, that means he's taking my shift for me while I'm on the porch, or he is blocking something that YouTube Daddy wouldn't want me to show you for some reason. Okay, let's get going. We'll finish this little thing off here, and then we will get on with our TPO. That's what we're going to do first, okay?
Number is 3163. Now,
Your Honor?
Go ahead, Mr. Regier.
That was a live edit I did during the original broadcast. She said his phone number. I was like, lady, Jay Regier is a hot ticket item for some people. Charles, I have no clue. I'm going to be totally frank with you. I don't know what size my boobs are. I know they're two different sizes.
With all due respect, my understanding is that there's not currently a motion for discovery currently before the court. State would respect to suggest that procedurally, if the defendant is requesting a discovery, that would be the most appropriate avenue.
All right, so you can file a document called Motion for Discovery, file that with the clerk of the district court and then send a copy to the county attorney. And then he'll have to give you, if you request any and all documents, including videos, he'll respond to that. And you'll need to put a caption on that that looks like the one that he filed on you. But let me see, Ms. Hale, if license,
Arbitrary hubris. Charles does have a little bit of an out. He sold a leg in order to ask me any questions he wants. So I'm joking, but no, seriously, Charles is, he's cool. Don't worry.
okay, you're looking at a Class B charge. I know in the past you've said you didn't want an attorney, you wanted to represent yourself, but are you sure you don't want to have an attorney look at this for you?
I mean, I'm gonna have to find one. I don't have one at the moment.
Are you able to afford to hire an attorney?
Everybody else, arbitrary hubris. Don't worry. Keep doing it. If they're too cool and they get a pass, I'll say it. Other than that, please keep doing it. I fucking love it.
With my funds right now, probably not.
Well, you want to look and see if you qualify for court-appointed counsel?
Yeah, I mean, anything that'll help my case.
Your Honor,
Mr. Regier?
this is somewhat procedurally unusual, as the court has already observed. We are mid-trial.
This is true.
Nevertheless, there are multiple charges in this case currently pending, including a Class B, so I do understand the court's position. I just wanted it noted for the record.
Yeah, well, and I've thought about that is a bit awkward, and let's see if she.
To be fair, you guys don't know what I've done to strap these babies up like this.
And how would I go about applying for an attorney?
All right, you just answer some questions I give you. Are you employed?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work?
Hobby Lobby Distribution Center.
And what do you make per month?
After taxes, probably about 2,300.
What do you make before taxes?
Roughly between about 25.
And are you married or single?
Married.
And what kind of work does your spouse do?
He works at the same place.
Does he make the same or different?
Same.
All right, and do you have children?
I'm just going to say I don't make fun of people with jobs. Somebody has to work places. I think Hobby Lobby is like Michael's, right? We do not have Hobby Lobby in Canada. But I've been on the internet long enough to know. But seriously, what I'm concerned about is, are you joking? About 2,500 versus 2,300, you're paying $200 in rent in taxes. Fuck, jeez, that's like nothing. It's like nothing. Oh, I wish we had a Hobby Lobby. I actually had a Michael's problem. I had an addiction to Michael's, which is funny because after I got a divorce, I had a little confusing incident with 3 guys named Mike. After that, I started using emojis in my phone.
That you support?
3 of them, yes.
So you're a family of 5?
Correct.
And do you pay rent or a mortgage?
Rent.
How much do you pay per month for rent?
1,400.
Cheap.
You pay utilities?
Yes.
What do you pay for utilities?
All together, probably around 500-600.
Do you have any other obligations or debts?
Car insurance, paying off some debts,
What do the two of you pay for car insurance per month?
115.
Is that for both your vehicles?
We only have one.
Okay. That's your insurance. Do you have any car payments?
No, I do not.
And you said you had some other expenses. Is that right?
Yeah.
How much are those?
I mean, groceries and, just things that the kids need throughout the week. Just random stuff.
From Hobby Lobby.
I will, for a family of 5, I will appoint Attorney Darren Patterson. You ready to write down his phone number?
Yes.
It is 316.
Nobody, nope.
Okay.
Now, frankly, it is highly unusual to assign an attorney to a trial that has already commenced. So I'm going to let you and Mr. Patterson look at that and see if you have any response to that. I'll let Mr. Regier see if he has any thoughts about that.
Judge, can I inquire what court date you set for that hearing?
Shoot. When did we put that?
September the 13th.
Are you available September 13th
Yes.
at 1:30? Okay.
Yes.
And Your
Because,
Honor,
yes, Mr. Regier.
is that given, again, this is all the court has already noted, is that going to be set for control?
That'd be fine with me, Judge, if we want to set it for control rather than trial.
Mr. Regier, do you have a preference?
Well, Your Honor, again, this is all very procedurally unusual. I'll respectfully defer to the court on that issue, I think.
That is so far away that I'm going to leave it for trial. And then if the two of you come up with something that we need to address before then, we can.
Very good, Your Honor.
Yeah, very unusual. All right, thank you all. And Miss Hale can go.
Do you have my phone number, Ms. Hale?
Yes, I do. I will.
Make sure and call and just give us your information.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, so I understand that we're still working on Mr. Hun, is that right?
Yes, Judge, I can tell the court that if we,
Okay, I think that's actually okay. Previous kitchen, you can be quiet because current kitchen's right here, right now. I just think that was so amazing. She pulled through in the clutch. Have you ever seen anybody who's stuck on Zoom long enough actually get a better outcome? Because that's what happened right there. Also, is Darren Patterson's shirt undone? Oh, it's a red tie. It's a red tie. It's a red tie. Calm yourself down. Also, Sashina was asking about crafts. And I was saying I specialize in only beginning crafts, purchasing very many craft supplies, but I never finish them. So that's not true. Occasionally I will bust out a craft in one night, one time. And I'll be like, had all the materials proper. I followed the instructions. I didn't get stuck. I did it. And then I'll never do it again. But I don't believe that I have ever really. That's not true though. I do knit. I think knitting is the one exception, but lots of yarn, not a lot of socks. Okay, here we go. I appreciate everybody that is crafty, and I have lots of craft ideas. Execution, no. Ideas, yes. I'm a very good ideas person. Let me just drop this curtain one moment while I go ahead and gather up. You guys were saying TPO. I agree, TPO. If you're new here, temporary protective order is what we're talking about with a TPO. Okay. And TPOs can be a little bit, we call them adult. They are temporary protective orders. They are happening because people are having issues handling their business. And so they have to bring a judge in. And so I want you to be forewarned about that. There is some allegations of domestic violence, and that's obviously something very serious. However, we like to have a little bit of fun here and watch a lot of court. So for just so y'all know, this is a temporary protective order. It happened in DeKalb County, Georgia, and it was earlier today. We had Judge Foxworth, who every single time I see him, I like more and more and more and more and more. He doesn't take shit from anybody. I take my coffee, Hector. What a great question, first of all. Thank you so much for reminding me to talk about this to everybody here. Like I said, I live in Canada, okay? Which means I drink Tim Hortons coffee. And my whole life, I've been drinking, in fact, 3 cream, 3 sugar, a triple. And then I realized, oh, I got it. I can go down to a double, right? So most of my last 5 years, I've been a double girl, right? I was trying to lose weight and also trying to save money. And I could never figure out why coffee did not taste good at home. I'm like, I even like bought good cream. I bought the right coffee. I bought everything. I bought filtered water. I was like, why doesn't the coffee taste right? Just never fucking tastes good enough. And then I looked it up. And I was putting in 2 cream and 2 sugar. Okay. But a double, an extra large double, which is what I drink, has like 14 sugars in it. Seriously, look it up. They don't tell you that, but that's how much actual sugar is in it. It scales up. So 2 cream, 2 sugar is for the smallest coffee size, and it scales up a lot. Okay. So when I start adding 7 cream and 7 sugar or whatever, I'm like, wow, yeah, coffee tastes fucking great now. And I asked them this, and you notice, at least at Tim Hortons, they don't measure your coffee. They have a machine. They go over to this machine and they shove your cup under and they press a button. And they press a size button and then how much you want. A single, a double, a triple, whatever. So they don't even know how much is in there. So when you ask, you're like, how much is in a double? How many sugars? They're like 2. And that's what they think. And that's what you think. But then when you put even 2 heaping tablespoons of sugar, you realize this doesn't taste good. Why doesn't it taste good? Because that's not what they put in. They just named it double. I think that's very sneaky business. Now, I still like the coffee, but I purchase it now. I weaned myself down. I had to wean myself down off of I literally had to wean myself way down off of the sugar from the coffee. So I was literally like thinking double was pretty good. No, you got to go down to like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now I'm probably like 2 sugars, 2 real sugars. And now I go to Tim Hortons sometimes and I just like blow people's minds in the lineup. And I'm like, you know what's in that double? I'm not disparaging Tim Hortons. I'm addicted. I love it. I just want them to be honest. Call it a 7-7. We don't do things like that in consumer deception lawsuit. Okay. With that rant over and my Canadianness thoroughly proven, we can go on to see Judge Foxworthy. Seriously, I drink so much coffee. So here's the problem, you guys. I'm just going to be frank with you. I used to drink like 4 extra large doubles a day. That's a lot of sugar. They give me a free double every week already based on how much I drink and their like reward program. So every day, yeah, I mean, seriously. I think that people don't realize it, but and I used to be like, wow, I never am hungry. I'm never hungry. Yeah, sugar is healthy, Courtney, but I didn't eat anything. I would just wake up, drink coffee, and then be like nighttime, and I'd be like, oh, wow, I guess I should eat something. I'll have Coca-Cola. Woo! Oh, black coffee, Craig. You know, I don't have the fucking balls for that. I used to think doing a 2 cream, 2 sugar was good, and I used to think, what do they put in it? It's just cream and sugar. It's just a lot of it. It's like why restaurants taste good. It's butter, okay? It's butter. That's why restaurants taste good. Butter. Why am I so upset?
One for the Jackson Brashears case. If you could turn on your video, please.
Oh, we in double speed, so we gotta slow that shit down. Also, we have an accent coming up, my friends. Oh, okay. Before we move on, did anybody notice anything specific about Judge Webster from the previous hearing? Not her glasses, but something else about her appearance that was different. Yeah, I know I saw them, Hector. I did give a bit of a trigger warning, and I did see those pictures. We have Larry to help with that. But again, I'll renew the trigger warning that this is, once again, 4.5 teaspoons. Wait, so, okay, Richard, hold on. Tim Hortons double has 18. Yeah, but dude, that's probably a small double. Look up an extra large double. Seriously. Also, trigger warning, domestic abuse. It's real court, guys. It's real court. I ran out of money to pay people, actors, to pretend they're in Zoom court. So I had to go with real court now. So just keep that in mind, okay?
Miss Jackson, while we're waiting, if you could unmute, do you have any witnesses that are with you, ma'am?
No.
Thank you. Are you on 2 devices, ma'am?
No, just my laptop.
Okay, all right. We may have misnamed somebody. Thank you. Oh, okay.
34 grams of sugar times 4, Richard. Sashina, I am telling you, I've been hiring these people off Fiverr. I mean, Judge Edgerton's bill alone is adding up with his rocking lately. Hi, Basement Gardener. How are you? Oh, I'm dying laughing. Listen. Oh, don't make promises you can't keep. Don't make promises you can't keep. If you do that, I will crowdfund for your release unless you're unless the crime is heinous. Okay? Please, nobody do that, first of all. But if you do, yeah, we will bail you out.
No, we're fine. Thank you. So I'm looking for, here we go.
Back.
Yes.
10 teaspoons, Amy? That's still a lot. I was doing 40 or 4 of those a day at least. So 40 teaspoons of sugar. Plus, oh my God, plus 3 or 4 Cokes. Yeah. And then no food.
All right. And Ms. Wormset, if you have an announcement, we'll take it, but you're welcome to keep your video off as you feel comfortable. All right. And let's see, Taylor Brashears, where you are, do you feel safe and comfortable to speak about what you're here for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have a witness that's with you?
No, ma'am.
Thank you for that. Thank you, though. I think that's it, Judge.
Okay, I was looking for Mr. Pack. He's not here.
Yeah, I see his camera's off.
Hector, I think that's why, I don't know. It's actually, the reality here is that people used to think that ADHD was exacerbated and made worse by sugar, and it's in fact the opposite. And so honestly, I've talked about this before on an ADHD stream that I did, but very quickly available sugar in the bloodstream for people with ADHD is basically the way that you can continually sustain yourself. I mean, I do these streams drinking stuff all the day, you know. Anyways, let's continue before I get more distracted. And med check also, I didn't take my meds. Take your meds. Let's take our meds. I'm losing people like flies. I don't care. Oh, Hector. Well, listen, we've got lots of people with ADHD and lots of experience, and I even have a special stream about it, and I'm going to do more. But there's lots of ways that we can figure out and help with that stuff. Listen, Dr. Pepper, I've never tried in my life, Polly. I guess I could try it on screen. All
And
meds,
do we have two
legal or not
petitioners in this
legal.
case?
No, Your Honor. I think the second person marked as petitioner is Martha Feynman Sowers. She's the contract attorney who's working with us. She's just here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hello, Judge.
Okay. Yeah, when I saw it just said P, it didn't say W for witness or attorney or anything. So, okay, thank you. As soon as we get Mr. Pack back, we'll begin.
And while we're waiting, I mentioned earlier we had several exhibits that I sent this morning. I haven't gotten confirmation that they've gone through. Is it okay, Ms. Burnley, that I just email that to you directly and copy opposing counsel on it?
Yes, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Because I received some of them, like Ms. George was saying earlier today, like 1 through 44, and but yeah, she can send.
No, I've never tried Mountain Dew either. I've basically been drinking Coke my whole life. Just Coke, ginger ale, Sprite. I do recall some orange pop as a child. But not orange pop, the orange drink that McDonald's made and would like bring to events in weird orange coolers. That might just be a Canada thing.
I beg your pardon, 1 through 44.
Well, that's just how it's numbered, Judge.
Okay. You don't mean 44 separate exhibits, do you?
I haven't looked through them. I'm sorry.
Judge,
No, I've never tried Fanta.
Exhibits. We will move through them quickly.
But we do have Fanta here. Yeah, we have orange Fanta, I think. Nana drinks that. I only like drinking Coke. And Iron Brew.
That's why we were
I saw that,
delaying
Richard. I
your
have
hearing because
an
of
Iron Brew too.
a ton of exhibits in the previous case.
Well, we will endeavor to be faster.
Well, we need Mr. Pack before we can do anything.
I just sent him a quick email to let him know that we're back.
And there he is.
Yes. Sorry, Judge.
That's all right. Now that we know where you are. All right. This will be the family violence hearing, case number 23PO4747, Monisha Jackson versus Taylor Brashears. If I mispronounce anybody's name, please correct me. I'll try to get it right, and we'll move on from there. Ms. Jordan, you represent the petitioner. Do you wish to make any opening statement? If so, as you know, I like brief ones.
Yes, Judge. And just as an initial, logistical matter, the parties are in shared an apartment and we have some damages to present regarding expenses. I'd like to relating to the apartment, damage to the apartment, damages that have been assessed. what I'd like to request is that we bifurcate the hearing to first determine whether the protective order will be granted, and then we can.
Did she just say bifurcate? Listen, I want you guys, I haven't gotten my YouTube daddy check yet, but when I get my YouTube daddy check, I'm going down to the post office and setting me up a P.O. box. And you guys better send stuff to it. Because if I open and pay for a P.O. box and nothing ever comes, I'll be so sad. I know what it means, Hector. Actually, I have a very good vocabulary for some reason. I just find it interesting way for her to phrase it for this. I think that it's probably understood. For example, in the hearing that Mikey featured today on Credence and Mikey. Oh yeah, Sashina, I'll show anything people send me that is legal and not going to get anybody in trouble on camera. But that's okay. So I'm waiting for them to have babies too. I sub to your channel, by the way, Sashina. But anyways, so oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, earlier in the day, Mikey showed this hearing in front of the same judge where the attorney was a dick and he asked for attorney's fees, which is basically the same thing. He bifurcated that hearing because you have to know the determination of the hearing in order to either approve or deny attorney's fees. Isn't it just sort of understood for them that that would happen? Like, what's weird to me is that she's explicitly saying it as opposed to just that being the standard protocol. But maybe, I don't know. I watch a lot of these, but she is the pro bono lady, so let's keep going.
If so, we can come back and talk about the financial component of that.
Ms. Pack, you have any objection to that?
No objection, Judge.
Okay, well, let's do it that way. And it's not unusual for me to defer all the financial issues until such time as there's either an order granted or not granted. So,
Thank you, Judge.
all right, Ms. Jordan, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Just to give a little background on this case, these parties lived together, were in a romantic relationship together, lived together for a year or two, and over that time, there have been multiple severe incidents of family violence. I think we'll really leave it to the petition, and that will be our guide because it really clearly delineates what occurred on which dates. There have been multiple calls to police, and there are currently criminal charges pending. We're requesting, as mentioned earlier, we're requesting the protective order be granted, and then we'll address financial issues at a later point.
Mr. Pack.
Judge, just briefly, this was a very tumultuous relationship. I think the fact that they're no longer together is probably better for them, probably better for everyone in DeKalb County and elsewhere in their families, Judge. It was a situation where both parties would call the police on each other. My client was arrested on May 10th. There was some communications after the arrest up until May 30th when my client was arrested and there was a stay away order. And from my understanding, Judge, there's no sort of communications after the issuance of the stay away order from the magistrate judge to today's date, which was about 3 weeks ago, Judge. So that's kind of our position, saying that there's no, I guess, imminent threat for any sort of violence to happen in the future.
All right. Thank you. And Ms. Jordan, you know my spiel. I want everybody to stick to what's in the petition and not anything that may not be in the petition unless it happened after the petition was filed.
Thank you, Judge. We'll do that.
All right.
All right. I'd like to call the petitioner, Manisha Jackson. All right, Ms. Jackson, can you raise your right hand so I can swear you in? All right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I assume I'm ready to go ahead and get started.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. All right, Ms. Jackson, just to clarify a few things on the record, did you live with the respondent, Taylor Brashears?
Yes, I did. Between May of 2022 to May 2023 when I had to flee for safety reasons.
Okay, so just to get that out of the way, let's just get into the meat of things. In your petition, you mentioned that an incident happened on May 10th. Can you walk the court through what happened on May 10th?
Yeah, so on May 10th, this was probably around the 10th time that abuse occurred. Taylor began to verbally abuse me for at least 2 hours. I did not respond to this. Included in her verbal abuse were legal threats to have me deported, to involve ICE, various other legal threats. She also called me an idiot, stupid, multiple times. I went upstairs. At this point, I knew that I needed to move out and escape. And so I went upstairs to continue packing my things. Taylor then followed me upstairs, continued to verbally abuse me. I then started to audio record the abuse. There is evidence in the audio recording of this situation happening. She noticed that I was recording and then came at me, tried to grab the phone out of my hand. I tried to hold on to my phone, but she's extremely stronger than me. And so she was able to pry the phone out of my hand. I stood up to, ask for it back, at which point she punched me in the face. That caused my lip to bleed. Again, there's photographic evidence of that. I also fell to the ground. She then went downstairs with my phone. In this incident, I did not even try to get my phone back again at this point. I actually tried to leave the house and run to the neighbor's house so that I could call the police. She then barricaded me into the house, which she has done multiple times. She locked me into the house from the front door and the back door. She then noticed my lip was bleeding, so she grabbed me again, dragged me across from the living room to the kitchen, got a napkin, aggressively wiped my lip, then told.
I have a list in my head of weird things I've heard in court, and I do think that qualifies. Aggressively wiped my lip with a napkin. I'm not making fun of things. This is just how I do. This is how I do. Also, there's a couple of you guys that have not licked or hit or whatever the like button. Please clock in for your shift. You know how I do.
Done multiple times. She locked me into the house from the front door and the back door. She then noticed my lip was bleeding, so she grabbed me again, dragged me across from the living room to the kitchen, got a napkin, aggressively wiped my lip, then told me that I shouldn't make this a bigger deal than it is. She then tried to say that she had already called the police, she had already filed things against me, and if I didn't call the police in this occasion, then she would drop whatever she had filed. I said, okay, I just wanted her to get away from me. She ended up maybe 10 minutes later leaving the house. I think she went to work. I'm not sure. I then contacted a friend and they met me and we called the police and I filed a police recording. Police report on that day.
Was the petitioner was the respondent arrested after this incident?
Yes, she was arrested 2 weeks later. May 10th was when the police didn't actually tell me, but when I got the police report, that was when I saw that they had issued a warrant for her arrest based on what I had told them and also them seeing that I had cuts over me, my lip was bleeding, etc.
All right, and did you take photographs of your injuries from May 10th? And if the court clerk can pull up, there's 6 documents or exhibits that are labeled May 10th. One is May 10th, and there's a 2, and then there's a May 10th 3 and 4, and a May 10th copy. If you can pull up all of those, we'd like to go ahead and admit those. And while the court clerk is doing that, Ms. Jackson.
I'm sorry, I apologize. So not the ones that you sent to my email address.
Right.
You said what?
they should be what the client submitted directly or through the clerk. And it's there should be 6 different files that are all start with May 10th.
I'm not seeing that. So is it considered as what? Exhibit emotional abuse, exhibit 1 through 44?
So what I was in doesn't have exhibit numbers on it.
Okay, so that's gonna be May 6th. Let's see, this is the first one. What is the exhibit?
They don't have exhibit numbers.
So we've talked about this before. The inefficiency of the court because they, for security purposes, don't let people screen share is weird to me. Why don't you just apply the level of scrutiny that you do to letting people into the Zoom call? If you're very sure that everybody that is in the Zoom call is appropriately in the Zoom call, I really think it would be fine to share the screen. It seems like government, in my mind, it's like somebody at the government or whoever was like, oh, we're going to lose our job. The clerks won't have a job anymore or something. So we better make sure we have to see it all this. And it's like, you're joking, right? And then again, the clerk can be there because the clerk should be organizing this, but she doesn't. Okay. No offense. Let's just keep going before I appreciate court staff. Let's just say that.
On them.
Right, but what is it?
It's all of them are photographs, and they're all labeled May. They're all named. The file name is May 10th for all of them.
That might be it, Ms. Broom. If you could pull that one up and go to the second page of that 1 through 44
Oh, okay.
and see if that's it.
The second page, got it. You can let me know if this is it.
No. Those are from a different date, I believe.
That's not it. Okay.
Okay, these may be disturbing,
I have
but
the
they
ones
are
that
not
you sent
new.
me,
I've
but you
double
said
checked.
these was already.
I think
They had been submitted prior to the June 6th hearing date.
Photographs? Are they photographs of the petitioner?
Photographs of the petitioner and its bruising.
Yes, that's what I see, but it's lumped into the one that was filed on May 18th, and it was labeled as emotional abuse example pages 1 through 44. The rest are videos. That's the only, it looks like it was all lumped into one.
Okay.
But you said that wasn't it, right?
Those particular ones are from a different date.
Okay, it was more than one, it was more pictures, Ms. Jordan?
There's more pictures, yes.
So in that 1 through 44, it's like 3, 4. It's several pictures. Do you want to just go through each one since we don't know which one you're asking for?
Sure. If the court prefers, I'm happy to share my screen and go through them. Either way is fine with me.
Any objection to that, Mr. Pack?
Whatever's easiest for the court, Judge, we're okay with.
Okay, go ahead and share screen then, please.
All right, I just need permission to do so. Oh, thank you for that.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Judge Foxworth, finally cutting through the
All
red
right,
tape. Don't let us down now, lady.
All right.
Clerk is pissed off. First of all, I'm just going to explain something to you right now. That clerk would have said no to other judges. I don't know why she didn't say no to him. He didn't even ask her. He just permission granted. But yeah. you got to be careful. Remember how I said the receptionist throws away the resumes? The clerk makes a judge's life difficult or nice. So you need to, honestly, I would defer to the clerk in that case and just play dumb if that's their policy to keep her happy. And here I am literally arguing the other side of the coin where I literally was just like, man, they should just let everyone share. But my manipulative brain goes, oh, that clerk's going to be mad at you now, Judge. You got a problem.
And oops, sorry about that. Did you say you took photos of the injuries that you received after that date?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you a series of them. Are these photographs that you took?
Yes.
Okay. We've got one here, one here. This one's upside down, one here. And what day did you take these photographs?
I believe I took them on May 10th. That was an incident on May 10th of 2022, as well as May 10th.
So a clerk does, well, there's two different things. Oftentimes a court will have two things. They might have a court clerk who is an employee of the court, but is assigned generally to a judge or to a courtroom, like in this case. So there's multiple judges that handle this docket, but there's one clerk. The clerk remains steady. And that's why it looks the same virtually, even though there's different judges that work it, because it's her that's pulling the strings behind the scenes. A clerk will do scheduling, a clerk will do filing, a clerk will do damage control. She will deal with, depending on how organized a judge is, a clerk can literally make or break a judge. We see some great examples of really great clerks that you almost don't notice. Missy in Kansas, great clerk. You hear her come up with an answer. They are not lawyers. No. These are going to be administrative women generally, that are employed by the county. It's just a job. Court clerk is like a position. I mean, so there's court clerks, and then some judges have what's called a staff attorney. So when a judge and you'll hear Judge Manning sometimes say, can you draft the order? If I had a staff attorney, I would draft it, but I don't. So could you draft the order? So some judges will literally employ another attorney in their office to draft and go over their orders, because what happens generally is the prevailing party is supposed to write and submit the agreed upon order. And the order, like you'll hear a judge say, do you want to review this before it comes to me for signature? And most good lawyers will say yes, obviously, because why would you not? And I've even seen hearings where lawyers are arguing about what the judge has already ruled on. They were there for the ruling, but they disagree on how that's written up in their order. And so to avoid that, some judges draft their own orders with either themselves or via a clerk or a staff attorney. And some courts review them. Some courts have standard language. There's just many ways that they would work doing that. So each judge probably doesn't have their own clerk. It's probably ratioed. It's just a hiring ratio based upon how many different courtrooms there are. It's absolutely not a lawyer. A court clerk is probably not even a college education requirement. A law clerk is different. So a law clerk is a law student at a part of their law education journey where they go and work in a judge's office as an intern almost to do what I've just talked about, but for free. So a law clerk they can rely upon them to do certain things, but again, they have to review everything. That's before somebody's an attorney. Court clerk is an employee not of the judge, but of the courthouse or the county, and they will do many different things. Some of them might even be responsible. Let's say it's a small county. The court clerk might double as the receptionist for, the district court office, or many different parts of the job. Because some counties wouldn't need a full-time court clerk. They wouldn't even need a full-time judge. They have traveling judges that come around. So and you'll also find different judges are different persnickety wise in terms of what they require from participants in front of them in court. Back in the day, i.e. before 2020, a court clerk would be in the courtroom and they would be sitting beside the judge and handling the paperwork beforehand. When somebody says, I would like to present Exhibit A, the lawyer that arrives with Exhibit A would have had the responsibility to print out and collate Exhibit A and make a copy for them, the judge, the clerk, and the opposition. And the clerk would take that copy, they would mark it with an exhibit stamp, probably. They would sign it once the judge tells what exhibit number it is, and they might be responsible for scanning that copy into the system and keeping the court file in order actively during a long trial. With the Zoom court, of course, things are a little different. You don't have that exchange of papers in the same way, and so they do have a different role. Again, like I've said before, administrative staff run things, so you don't want to make them upset. They can very, very, very easily lose paperwork, get it to the bottom of a stack. I mean, just many different things. So, you keep your court clerks happy. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I've seen judges literally come in ready for fire before. Like, I heard that you were speaking rudely to my clerk. You don't want to do that. Okay, that clerk gets that guy lunch every day. She knows. Okay, she can schedule. Oh yeah, God, you can really screw somebody over just by scheduling things.
2023. So I know categorically that the one of my lit is of May 10th, 2023. Some of these may be.
Oh yes, Hector, thank you. You're right. They might swear in witnesses at a trial. And in fact, that's something that some of the court clerks do still. Yeah, that's right, Hector. Swearing in the people. Not all of them do that. I think mostly, like, some court clerks really stepped into their own when Zoom court came around and were able to facilitate it. But if you didn't have decent multitasking skills and ability to talk to people and do all those different things, it's a pretty big nightmare to handle a Zoom call like this, important, live streamed in front of people. Like, I remember early in a job I had once during the pandemic, they needed me to set up a Zoom training session for like 300 or 400 people, like mostly older people. And I was the tech support for all these people to teach them how to use Zoom. Oh, Lord. Oh, that was a very crazy day. Multiple days.
Both 2022 and 2023.
All right, well, let's just look at this one. It's called May 10th copy. Is this a photograph that you took?
Yes.
All right, and what day did you take it?
On May 10th.
Oh, so insert funny name. I just want to be clear. There are absolutely certain courts and clerks that have independently, like that have their own clerk. So, Judge Manning's clerk, I do believe, works for her full time. Judge Manning, or Katrina and Judge Maribel. Missy and Judge Webster, although you notice I think she's on for other things, so she's probably at a higher level. It really depends on the level and the size of the court. So in Fulton County there are something like 46 judges, right? So they need a lot of clerks. In Texas, they might have one clerk for 5 counties, depending on how often they run court. So
Of which year?
2023.
Okay. And can you tell the court what injuries we're looking at?
Yeah, so this was from Taylor punching me in the face. So that led me to pull over, as I mentioned. And I had several like scratches on my neck as well.
Okay. I'd like to admit this exhibit. It's called May 10th copy.
Any objection, Mr. Pack?
No objection, Judge.
All right, admitted without objection.
All right. And Ms. Jackson, what other injuries did you, or visible injuries did you receive on this date?
So I had bruising on both of my arms. I think that those other May 10th pictures are from 2022.
Okay. Can you describe the bruising then?
Yeah, it was just bruising like to my outer arm, my inner arm, from like her grabbing me and throwing me around, basically.
Okay. All right. Now, you also mentioned in your petition that the respondent contacted you following this incident. Can you walk the court through that?
Yeah, so following this incident, I fled. I met the police at a nearby park, and a friend had come to meet me, so that I wouldn't be alone. I asked the police to accompany me back to the house to get some personal items. So I just tried to pack stuff for like a few days. I knew that I could not be in that house for my own safety. And so I ended up staying at a friend's for several days. During this time, I received over 80 phone calls from 3 different numbers of Taylor's. I received over maybe 30 emails from 2 different email accounts. I received Snapchat messages, Zelle messages, Cash App messages, messages on TikTok, just every single platform. Basically, when I would block her on one platform, she would use another platform to harass me. She also contacted multiple of my friends on following this incident as well.
Okay. And did you take screenshots of the calls that you received from the respondent?
I did, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share again so we can go through those. All right. All right. Are these screenshots that you took of the phone calls that you received?
Yes.
All right. And what date did you receive these calls?
These began, so there were calls on May 10th and 11th. This was when I received like 70 calls in a row. And they started in the evening on May 12th and went through.
Hold on. That's not an Apple call log. Is it? That doesn't look like an Apple call log to me. The top part does, but look at how the top is so weird. No. Larry had to come out. I don't know what's coming out, but does this look like, okay, Charles, have a really good night. Okay, please send me your phone number or Amy will give me your number. I tried to text you. I'm going to text you. I love you too. Have a good night, okay? But no, the top part is Apple message home video, isn't it? Yeah, the circle, that's Apple. It looks to me like this is meant to be a screenshot from a phone, but this is how I've never seen I've never seen that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And what date did you receive these calls?
These began, so there were calls on May 10th and 11th. This was when I received like 70 calls in a row. And they started in the evening on May 12th.
You can't tell me that the bottom part here is not Apple. You
All right,
can't.
are these screenshots
I don't care if there's no
of the phone
FaceTime
calls that
thing
you
showing up.
received?
Look at the bottom.
Yes.
You're going to tell me that's not Apple? That's Apple. That's Apple at the bottom. Where the little heart is, the info button, that's Apple. Hi, Keeper. Hi, hope you're doing well. Listen and feel better. Glad to hear you. It's Fapple. It's fake Apple? I don't know. I've had a lot of phones. The K thing is maybe American. I'm telling you, that doesn't look like any Samsung I've had before. That's not how my Samsung looked. But a Samsung can look like anything, I suppose. I suppose they could have made it look like this, which is the thing about Samsung. But I'm just being picky. But honestly, sometimes call logs I see and I'm like, it's just the color's wrong. Like, that's not how anything's delineated in my phone ever. And I've had Samsung and Apple. Thank you, Richard, because my phone's at 1%, so I have to charge it too.
All right. And what date did you receive these calls?
These began, so there were calls on May 10th and 11th. This was when I received like 70 calls in a row. And they started in the evening on May 12th and went through to the morning on May 13th. Yeah.
I'd like to submit tender petitioner's exhibit 1 into evidence, or we can call it something else. It's the May 12th, 2023 call log.
Any objection, Mr. Pack?
No objections, Judge.
Admitted without objection.
All right.
Let me ask, have y'all already exchanged many of these?
I got all of them, Judge.
FaceTime audio. Larry, I'm gonna need you over here just in case, okay? We can't have anybody getting all upset here, so bringing in Larry just in case. These people are stupid.
Okay. Unless there is an objection, why don't we just go ahead and admit them without objection, unless Mr. Pack has a specific objection on any one.
Ms. Jordan was kind enough to send it this morning, Judge. I took a look at everything, and there's no objections from the respondent.
If one should come up or you need to cross-examine regarding it before it's admitted, that's fine. Just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge. All right, Ms. Jackson, is this a screenshot that you took of your missed call log from May 13th?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And does this indicate where we see that it says Taylor, is that the respondent contacting you?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And so this is the day where on a single day you received 70 calls from the respondent. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. You also mentioned that I heard you testify that the respondent contacted you by multiple methods. Is this a screenshot you took of emails that you received from the respondent?
Yes.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Someone who isn't me has probably been obsessed before with people. You don't send messages 1 minute after each other. That's just not how you do. This is so sus. You can make anybody's shit say Taylor B in the phone. No, Charles, you can't put the phone number in, hun. Amy will give it to me. Amy, you've got his number, right? Amy will give me your number right away and I will text you, Charles. Don't put it in the chat. Honestly, asking for some foundation to be laid, asking for much of this stuff. I get it. Let me read a few of these. At 49, Manisha, please don't do this. Taylor B. No subject. Please unblock and talk to me. You've ignored me all day. You've got what you wanted. I've never done this, ... I told you, if you're done with me, just say that. Don't, okay, games. She meant play. Games, just tell me, please. Please, I'm begging you. Please, like, I'm begging you. Or just tell me you don't want me. Please just tell me you don't want me and I will leave you alone. But I need to know what you want. I need to. They're quite generic, I will say. But we'll see how we do. We'll see how we do. I love the dramatic readings too. I prefer them. There's 44 pages. We do not get all 44 pages. We do see a video. Actually, I remember now. I'm like, oh yeah, that video. She does look like a meanie. All right, let's keep going.
That's correct.
All right. And what?
Oh, Hector, please keep in mind, I am available for voiceover work any day. Any day. Also, somebody earlier commented that they like, oh, it was Tommy V and MI. He was like, I like to believe that Jay Regier and Miss Gillette are in a relationship. And I had a burst of creativity to write a little. Well, then I had a question about like if I might be getting like TPOs against me. They're like, she wrote this fan fiction about us. Like,
What date were these emails?
I believe they were also May 12th into the morning of May 13th.
All right. And did the petition, did you start receiving these emails after you blocked the respondent?
Yes.
Okay. And in these messages, did the respondent attempt to ask you to unblock her?
Yes, multiple times.
All right. So she was aware that you had blocked her.
Yes.
All right. Did the respondent start contacting you via other methods when you were when you blocked her on email and by phone?
Yeah, so I blocked one email, then I received emails from.
oh, okay. We have this is sneaky. This is oh shit, don't do that. But seriously, this is stalking behavior, absolutely. We've seen it before where people send Cash App money and then put a message in there. That's creepy and that's trackable. That's all the info. Like that should be good, right? Like, anyways, fanfic from Canada, Raven. I was writing the fanfic about people we see in court every day, and I thought, oh, I might get myself in trouble.
A different email. You can also see in this picture right now that there were Cash App requests. As I mentioned, I also received messages on TikTok, through Zelle, through the Photos app, through Snapchat.
Oh, look at what this one says. How dare you be out with another woman after one day, you cheating ass bitch.
Pretty much every social media and or banking platform.
So am I correct in thinking that this message we're seeing right here is after you blocked her on email, over the phone, she sent you $1 on Cash App so she could leave a memo that said effing unblock me?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. And then is this a final screenshot of the respondent contacting you on that same sort of leg?
Yes.
Oh, why are you calling the police on me? Please do it. I don't care. My life is already ruined. Call them. Honestly, what the thing that pisses me off the most about this entire thing is the signature line, right? Like, really? On each message?
All right, thank you. Okay. Let's move now. It looks like there have been several other incidents of violence from their.
I apologize. This might get me in trouble. Larry, get the fuck over there right now. Larry, get up there. Guys, somebody's going on a trip. And it says here, hotels are ready to be booked. I hope you're all having a great week. There's a block rate for her hotels. Lady, this is why you don't share screen. Hi, Shane. Damn it, lady.
Respondent, can you tell the court what happened on May 2nd?
Yeah, so on May 2nd, Taylor was basically angry about the fact that I wanted to move out. I wanted to end the relationship. And so she went into a violent rage. She ended up throwing multiple items at the walls in our shared house, also at the floors, which caused damage to both the walls and the hardwood floors. She threw my vacuum cleaner, which caused my vacuum cleaner to break. She threw a glass cup. There's a video of her throwing these things as well. You can see the glass shattering and like coming towards me. She threw a TV tray table. She threw water bottles. I think there were several other things she threw. So she had thrown this glass that
This is happy. So you mentioned you took a video of this incident. Is that right?
yes.
All right.
Oh, that's right,
All
baby.
right. And is this the video that you took?
Okay, first of all, that's a thumbnail. That's a thumbnail. This lady, at least we've got a decent video taker at this point because, wow. Okay. Pee. I have to pee. Be prepared. I don't want to leave until I see this part. This is obviously, but seriously, again, this is very Johnny Depp Amber Heard reminiscent of like, I've set up my camera perfectly and watching this person freak out. I'm just going to say that. I'm just saying that. We always have to think twice when one person knows they're being recorded versus not. Yeah. Here we go. I'll play the video. I'll dip. Let's see. When I dip, you dip, we dip. I put my hands up on my hips. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Here we go.
That is the video, yes.
All right. And this was on May 2nd of this year. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Oh. Let me try that one more time.
Play it, lady. Oh, come on, guys.
And
One
I'll
of
go ahead
you
and
for
play the
69.
video.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna play that back. Also, where's the rest of the video? Because, like, I bet what happened after is probably worth watching.
I think there were several other things she threw. So she had thrown this glass that
This is happy. So you mentioned you took a video of this incident. Is that right?
yes.
All right.
That's what I thought too,
All right.
CRD.
And
Yes,
is this the video
barefoot.
that you took?
That is the video, yeah.
Also, let's keep in mind, I don't believe the first glass shattered. I believe it was a miniature can of ginger ale that was thrown at the wall, which landed in her lap. The second item didn't break. The third item hit first and then broke after, and she is in bare feet. And I think she then comes over onto the carpet.
Yes.
All right, and this was on May 2nd of this year, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Oh. Let me try that one more time.
Get it together, lady.
And I'll go ahead and play the video.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Okay.
So after that, there was multiple damage to the house. She also started to, then start crying, smashing her head against the wall. I asked if she wanted to go to ER because she had cut her leg because she slipped from the glass and like liquid that was on the ground. So even despite the violence that she was exhibiting, I was like, okay, you were injured, like you need to sort that out. She then went to the ER by herself. I said I would come with her. And then I believe, just sent a bunch of messages, kind of apologizing. This is also the second time, not second, this is a long way down of times that she has broken things in the apartment or the house that we have collectively lived in. So my old apartment before we moved into this house was also destroyed. Multiple holes in the wall. My closet was destroyed. I had personal items that were destroyed at a different date.
All right. Now you also mentioned in your petition, you also mentioned incident happened on February 12th. Can you walk the court what happened then?
Yes. So this time, I think I was in the Ashed bedroom. Taylor was downstairs. She came upstairs, entered the room that I was in. What she would like typically do is take my possessions when she was mad or annoyed about something. And so she stole my phone while I was using it. I tried to ask for it back, then got up. She then tackled me to the ground. At which point she then got on top of me and pinned my arms to the ground, and made several comments about me being pathetic, weak, that if she just held me down long enough, I would be out of breath soon. And then she also dragged me across the floor. And so I had cuts on my arms as well as bruising from this day.
All right. And did you take photographs of your injuries then?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Should
All
be.
right. I'm going to show you 1, 2, and 3. Are these photographs of the injuries from February 12th?
Yes.
All right. And have you altered them in any way? Or are these accurate photographs of the injuries you received?
These are accurate. They're not altered.
All right. So I think we said we were going to admit them unless there's an objection. So I'm
No
assuming.
objections, Judge.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Or you can tender them in
No
bulk at the end,
objections?
and
Like,
I'll do that. Mhm.
Mr. Pat
is
can
this? I'm sorry, sir, but your bow tie looks flaccid, and your objections are also flaccid.
object in bulk or by piecemeal.
All right.
I doubt I'll do either, Judge.
Okay.
All right. You also mentioned, well, let's I know we've talked about a lot of different things. There's a number of additional things in your petition. I do want to focus in on the September 19th incident. Because I think why don't you walk the court through that?
Yeah, so September 19th, I would say was one of the most severe incidents of the 10 plus incidents. I had written kind of an account of what happened on that specific day. So I know I had written that this was
For my Tumblr page, like, objection, Your Honor. She appears to be referencing something that she's written. This has not been admitted into evidence. Why is she testifying from it? I'm not a lawyer, but that's what I would do.
the 5th or 6th time that Taylor had batted me. I said that I'd lost count. Um, this time I was bruised from head to toe. So I had bruising on both of my arms, all over my chest, my legs, my feet. This time, not only did she grab me, shove me against the wall, pin me to the ground, she also committed false imprisonment. She locked me in 2 separate rooms. She locked me in a tiny bathroom, trapping my hands.
Stop funny, don't make jokes about the size of American bathrooms. I know people that live in smaller apartments. Seriously, where is she from? I don't think she's British. She strikes me as, I don't know. I don't know. She strikes me as living in America with a fake accent. But seriously, people like bathrooms in America are big. Tiny bath. Again, false imprisonment is just a very odd way of saying that about yourself. American bathrooms, American homes in general are very large. It's probably for all the bald eagles you need to put.
In the door, I was trying to like keep the door open. She trapped my hands in there, so they were cut as well. When I managed to get out, she then locked me in the closet. I tried to escape. We had like a veranda off of our bedroom. I tried to escape. It was the nighttime to like call for help. She barricaded me in, so I couldn't do that.
Oh, Polly, I know what false imprisonment is. It doesn't lend itself to credibility in my mind as a way of describing a situation. That's just my experience. I'm just telling you what I feel. I believe that some of this happened. I think there's a little more to it.
She would not let me leave the room. I was screaming, I was crying. She told me to stop crying, stop playing victim. As I mentioned, locked me in the room, shoved me against the wall. I actually started to like wet myself at one point because of how much fear I was in. She also threatened to punch me in the face that day. She broke my glasses. There's picture evidence of that. So I wasn't able to see during some of this incident. She also broke my phone screen on this day. Then like
I am so unclear on how that evidence is supposed to bolster yourself. Wet yourself locked in the bathroom. Amy, what a point. What a goddamn point. Nana would like a tonic water, please. Can we get a tonic water to the front for Nana?
later on, I managed to leave the room. She trapped me in the living room. I tried to leave through the back door, the front door. She would barricade me in both ways. At one point, I guess after maybe 2 hours of this, she had maybe calmed down a little bit. So I left the house, drove to a lake to just clear my head. When I came back, she had removed the lock from the door, so I could not enter the house.
Let me stop you real quick. So first of all, did you take photographs of your injuries that you received?
Yes, there are photographs, and I believe there's a video in relation to this day.
All right. All right. Is this a video from, or excuse me, a photograph of your injuries from that incident?
Yes.
Okay. And then what about this one?
Yeah, that one too.
Okay. And you mentioned your glasses were broken. Is this a picture of your broken glasses?
Yes.
All right. And did the respondent in a later, did you later have a text conversation with the respondent where she admitted to locking you into
Yes.
these rooms? All right. Is this a screenshot of the?
Man. Give me one moment and let me read this out loud. I need to come over here. Oh, maybe closer to it. I don't know who's in who, which color, guys, but it starts out, "You are going to unalive me. I have no intention or thought of unaliving your. That's a fucked thing to say. I never wanted to hurt you. Just locking me in rooms, shoving me to the ground, dragging me across the floor, shoving me against the wall, bruising me all over, breaking my glasses, breaking my phone, stealing my possessions repeatedly, throwing rocks. I'm holding the camera stand like it's a mic stand. It's funny. But I'm holding the mic too. Throwing rocks at my car. But as I said, it's the only way I feel like I get my point across. And it's fucked. Yeah. Did you just admit to all that stuff? Oh my God, the floor is so sticky. Telling me you're gonna punch me in the face. Coffee, you guys. Damn it. Now I have to wash the floor. Okay. Finish on with the show. I locked you in the bathroom because I wanted to feel alone and small. I wanted you to feel alone and small. Like I wanted to emotionally hurt you and break you down because I am hurt. Okay, here we go. Let's get back to it so I can clean up. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Of the messages that you received from the respondent?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And can you read this last or the second to last message?
Yeah, so Taylor says, "I locked you in the bathroom because I wanted you to feel alone and small. Like I wanted you to emotionally hurt you and break you down because I'm hurt."
Okay, thank you. All right. And you said, did you take a video of the injuries that you sustained?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'll go ahead and play that video as well. I don't think there's audio on it. It's just a video of the injuries.
Don't write down your crimes. Don't write down your crimes. Hey, I know we don't kink shame here, but armpit stuff, you keep it on your OnlyFans.
All right. And have there been, it looks like in your petition, you mentioned several other incidents where you've received injuries on January 23rd, November 4th, October 28th, and October 19th. Can you just sort of quickly explain what happened on some of those other dates where you received injuries?
Yeah, most of the time it would be that Taylor was frustrated about something and would steal like my possessions, as I mentioned. And then when I would ask for them back, that's when she would start like grabbing me, shoving me against the wall, pushing me to the ground, locking me in the house. I've had my car keys were broken. One time that she was mad, she decided to throw them across the parking lot. So I have no buttons in my car keys still. I've also had threats of gun violence from Taylor. She has told me that she's had a gun around me without me knowing. She has threatened to bring multiple guns into the house. When I said I do not consent to this, she said she did not care. and I said that you're going to probably kill me. And she said that she wouldn't waste a bullet on me.
Let
Yeah.
me ask you, let's just circle back on October 19th. In your petition, you mentioned an incident happened where your finger was injured. Can you walk through what happened on October 19th?
Yeah, so I believe I was like trying.
Excuse me a minute, I'm getting audio from somewhere besides what we need to hear. I don't know.
It's not me, Judge.
Okay, now it seems to have disappeared. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
So Taylor would like grab my hands if I would try and get my phone back. And at multiple different times I had cuts to my fingers. I believe that on October 19th, where I said she cut my finger, ripping off the skin, I also had a hematoma on my finger, which I went to the health clinic about, and I have evidence of that appointment where they say that I had a hematoma on my finger.
I'll go ahead. And you took photographs of the injuries to your finger?
Yes.
All right. And are these the photographs that you took of the injuries to your finger?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned you went to the health clinic as well.
Larry Beaver's lying down, so I had to step in front of all this health data now. Hold on just 1 second. There's something floating in my fucking coffee. Okay, let's let this play while I'm not gonna read her.
Is this a visit summary of all the times that you've gone to the health clinic at your school?
So the other ones are unrelated to this case. It's just this one. I think it says a non-traumatic hematoma of soft tissue.
Sorry. So is this just to clarify? So is this a printout of every sort of an overview of all the times you've had to go to the clinic?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And then does it show here that you had to go on October 20th?
Yes.
I'm still getting audio from somewhere.
Crema cafe.
Okay, now it
Hi,
seems to be very
Hayden.
quiet. I hear a male voice right now. Are y'all hearing this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's coming from Miss George.
Okay. All right. It's just distracting. Thank you.
Sure. All right. All right, and then let's also go back to June 23rd of last year. Can you tell the court what happened on that day?
June 23rd. 1 second.
And
What is she looking at? This is very fishy to me. Objection, Your Honor. What is she referencing? Does she need to refresh her memory? Like, again, I'm not a lawyer, but I love to pretend to be full of myself on YouTube. Pretend to be full of myself. That's a lie.
little injuries on June 23rd of last year?
Yes.
All right, and did you take photographs of those injuries?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And are these the photographs that you took?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And can you walk the court through how these were caused?
Yeah, so these were caused by.
Can you do me a solid actually and walk me through what's in the background? I'm more interested. I'm like, yeah, whatever that is, but I'd like to see what. So we have, okay, light, bars. Listen, here's the thing. I could show you pictures of me looking worse than that. Handprints all over my body. It doesn't mean that I've been abused, okay? And that's the really important thing here that a judge has to suss out, because certain people bruise easily, certain people have conditions, certain people enjoy rough sex, and that's what they end up with. So regardless if it's a handprint or not, I have to take the whole case as it's a whole unit. And I find her presentation a little off-putting, just to be totally frank. I'm not disbelieving anybody, but I am saying that I can literally pull up images right now, and if I said the same story, oh, I've been, like you would say, oh my God, this person was very, 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 very hurt. But I wasn't hurt without, do you know what I mean? Like you have to understand context. Some of these are really old, and those are sex positions for hands, just so you know, like inner thigh. And I'm not saying that it is acceptable to do that if somebody says no. You have to hear me properly. But bruises last, and you have to be careful who you bump uglies with, basically. I mean, it shouldn't be bondage bruises if you didn't want them to get there. We have experts in this chat already that have a lot of experience with hurting people and tying people up and all those kinds of things. And so, and I myself have a lot of experience with that kind of stuff. And I can tell you right now that you have to listen to why and when things are presented and what the characteristics surrounding it are. We have to keep in mind something here. As much as people stay with people through abuse, that's absolutely true, and something that I want to figure out somehow to help people with. This woman didn't have children here, and I think that's really important. She may have immigration implications, but I think more importantly, I just, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Also, safe word, good. Safe signal, better for when your mouth is busy.
Again, Taylor like grabbing me. Again, just like throwing me against the wall, throwing me to the ground.
MB, I agree with you about the video, but I'm going to flip it on you. Do you think the video of Johnny Depp was persuasive enough to get a 12-month TPO? I know you watched it. Tell me you didn't. I see a lot of similarities around here. And I'm not saying that a TPO isn't warranted. I'm saying that some of the stuff, to me, as a non-lawyer, I would be asking for foundation on a lot of these things, dates, like when were these taken? Yeah, Amy, on Amber, but to begin with, if you just saw the video of Johnny breaking the cupboards or whatever, the first hit didn't go right at the plaintiff. The first item was thrown at the wall and bounced off and went to the plaintiff. And after that, you'll notice that all of the rest of them were not thrown at her, rather thrown away from her. And I'm not saying it's good behavior. I'm just saying that's what I noticed. I didn't see an attack. And in fact, I saw a meltdown, but I didn't see anybody being violent towards somebody else. Breaking things, yes. But the first one you saw came, but it flew off something. It didn't get thrown right at her. And throwing things is TV. And I agree, Hector, not acceptable. However, I really equate these two videos that we saw very similarly. to the Johnny Depp covered video and the one that we saw. They were both set up by somebody who knew they were being filmed, who knew somebody else was in a very agitated state, and they sat back and relaxed as the meltdown ensued. It's suspect to me. I'm just saying the way I feel. I'm not saying that these two people should be together. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be serious things, but a police investigation investigates domestic violence. A temporary protective order is a different thing entirely.
Etc.
Oh, we switched over.
Okay. All right.
Anything further, Ms. Jordan? Or?
But I would say that this person attacked the glasses or the whatever, you know? I'm the text messages that we saw were not, they were desperate, but they weren't mean in the same way that we've seen in some cases. Really manipulative and very, very scary and evil. I'm not, again, saying that these two people should be together. I'm just saying they don't have kids. They can separate and be apart from each other. I don't know that we need a temporary protective order to prevent future violence. That's my point. If there's a current legal case, then the bond conditions in that legal case should cover that.
I think we have a couple other incidents. Just one, we'll go through just one more from October 28th of last year. Can you, Ms. Jackson, can you walk the court through what happened on that date?
Yes. Again, it was stealing of my possessions. She knew I'm a doctoral student, so like my laptop is my life. And so she would like take my laptop. There was one time where she literally put it outside, but she didn't tell me. So she would hide these possessions. I would ask for them back, etc. She would not give them back to me. And then it would end up that she would stop grabbing me again, causing more bruising, usually arms. Yeah.
And did you take photographs of those injuries from that date?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you a few of them. Are these the photographs that you took from the injuries you got on that date?
Yes.
All right. And what are we looking at here?
So bruising to both my left and right arms. Again, from grabbing. There was also bruising on my chest.
What are we looking at here?
So bruising to both my left and right arms. Again, from grabbing.
You got on.
Is that a Sharps container? Is that a juice? What is that orange thing? Also, who the fuck puts clothes in their bathtub? I have a lot of questions. Oh, hold on. Seriously.
On that date?
Yes.
All right. And what are we looking at here?
Okay, probably a cup. Looks like a cup. Bathtub out of use? I mean, I'm really confused. Insert funny name. The debate between me and myself, basically. I was honestly, at first, I thought she just flipped the video or flipped the picture. And I was like, did your bathtub flip? But no, she just turned around.
So bruising to both my left and right arms. Again, from grabbing. There was also bruising on my chest. From being shoved against the wall.
What about
Is the mat upside down? Why are the tags like that? What's going on in this bathroom? Why is everything what is going on? Listen, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm weird, but if I'm gonna take a naughty picture for my boo thing, or if I'm gonna take a sexy shot for whatever, or if I'm going to take an evidence photo for court, those labels would not be in my picture. First of all, I'd like get in position, look down and be like, oh, labels, and move literally immediately. I wouldn't take the picture, fucking fix, like, I can't see what's on her foot. Her foot means nothing to me. The labels are meaning everything to me. Yes, I'm probably a little autistic.
In this abuse, somehow my foot gets bruised as well, probably from being dragged against the floor, etc. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's it from our side until we deal with the property issues.
Okay, and is
Okay, here's the thing, right? The part of my brain that's like thinking, oh, she's contriving some of this is like, oh, she went to take the picture on a bare floor and it didn't show up very well. So she decided to put it on her foot on the bath mat, but the bath mat was fucking gross. So she had to flip over the bath mat to use the clean side of the bath mat. But at this point, she didn't notice the labels because she's so focused on her foot.
All right. I think that's it from our side until we deal with the property issues.
okay, and is it my understanding you're tendering everything that you've presented thus far in bulk?
Yes, Judge.
And it's my understanding, Mr. Pack, no objection to any
No
one
objection,
item?
Judge.
Okay, all admitted without objection.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Pack.
Yes, Judge. Ms. Jackson, good morning, maybe good afternoon at this point. My name is Gunnar Pack, and I represent Ms. Breshers, who you are very familiar with. So Ms. Jordan keeps asking you questions about events that happened prior to May 30th, meaning in May 12th. I think she mentioned January. I think she mentions November. I think she mentions October of 2022. Have you had any contacts with my client since May 30th of 2023?
I have received calls from a third party. So I have had contact from, when was this? On May 31st, Taylor Bashir's father called me trying to ask questions about why she had been arrested. Other than that, I have blocked her on every platform, so there is no way without her creating a new platform to be able to contact me. I do not.
She hasn't directly contacted you since May 30th, the date of her arrest, correct?
Not since then, no.
And you are aware that there is a stay away order for Ms. Brashears to stay away from you completely, directly, indirectly, whatever it may be, correct?
I'm aware of that. Actually, on May 31st, there was contact. So I'm not, are you speaking about after May 31st?
Yeah, after she was told not to contact you, she hasn't contacted you, has she?
Yeah, so her bond conditions from her criminal case state that she can't contact me. The ex parte TPO also states that she can't contact me.
I got you.
She has not contacted me.
As far as the stay away order, she was told to stay away from you. You knew that, and you knew that she could get in trouble if she contacted you, correct?
Yes, and she still decided to show up at the house when I was moving my belongings.
Did you report this to anyone?
Yes.
Who did you report this to?
The police. The case number is 23047-601.
23. Can you say that case number again?
Yeah, 23047-60.
Oh my gosh, you just saw me be like reading chat, answering to things, and then hearing numbers, and my brain automatically knows like you need to block out phone numbers. And so when I hear people say numbers like that, I was like, but that's a case number, I hope. Oh my God. My brain.
One.
Did you ever contact the police when my client called you 70 plus times?
I did contact the police. I asked them to add that to the document.
I would not have worded it that way there, bud. Um, Allegedly, even maybe just put that one in there. When you say my client called 70 times, it doesn't really matter what the question is. That's what I heard.
Documentation from May 10th.
And did they?
I believe so, yes.
Do you have a case number for that?
May 10th, the case number is 23040-777.
Okay, but you said that they're going to supplement that with the harassing phone calls, correct?
Yes, that's what they told me.
You had contact with my client after May 10th, the date of the incident, correct?
Not on, like, I have not contacted her. She has contacted me.
But you replied to her when she contacted you.
There were a couple of days I responded, just asking her to stop messaging me when she was messaging me on different numbers, and then I stopped responding.
There was never a cordial conversation about a sofa that you guys were planning on trying to get rid of after May 10th?
There was no cordial conversations, in my opinion, no.
So if I provided the court with a text message showing that you guys are talking about how to split up a couch, what would your explanation be? Say that again?
What date is this from?
May 12th or so on. It's after May 10th.
Okay, so after the police report. Yeah, so I believe that after May 12th was when I no longer communicated anything with Taylor Brashears.
Gotcha, but May 11th and 12th, the 2 days after the date of the incident where you claim that she attacked you, you still were in communications with her, correct? For those couple of days.
She was harassing me, so I asked her to stop harassing me, yes.
So there was no other conversation other than stop harassing me.
I believe we spoke about the sofa at one point.
Okay.
As you mentioned.
So there was mention about a sofa now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just make sure. Are you aware that my client is in the near future planning on going into the Coast Guard?
Objection, calls for speculation.
I'm not asking if she's speculating. I'm asking if she knows or doesn't know whether she's going to go to the Coast Guard.
Oh, yeah. Would you look at who it is? Mikey. The 16K champion himself. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, you should already be subbed to Credence and Mikey channel. Amazing OGs, my friends, and hit 16K today. Even though I went and unsubbed. No, I didn't. I wouldn't do that. I know how hard you work, Mikey. Thank you for being here. Thank you. They put content out multiple times a day, every day of the week. It is squad goals for us all. And yeah, I love to see their take on things. So please make sure that you subscribe. Let's get them to 20K fast. Because I love riding those coattails. No, seriously, love you, baby. Thank you for being here. We are almost done. Oh, MB. You know what? Thank you so much. Love seeing all your comments. I do love court. I watch a lot of court. So, you know, there's winners all over. Not Mr. Pack, though. I'm going to have to say that. But anyways, let's continue. Thank you so much, MB. Thank you so much, Credence and Mikey. Thank you to all of you who are here and joining me, maybe for the first time, maybe for the 50th time. You need to make sure that you're not a dick, though, and lick the like button.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm making another pot of coffee, by the way. So, who knows? We do it live and dirty down here. Okay, here we go.
Well, the second question then would be, what's the relevance to what I'm hearing today?
The relevance, Judge, would be to the detriment of my client, what the the TPO could do, Judge. We think it would be a counterintuitive, counterproductive. That's fine, Judge. I'll move on.
Yeah, I deal in a vacuum. I deal with
So
what's in
Judge,
front of me.
And Judge, you may know me. You know me. I don't really dabble in this area of the law.
The consequences of it, the chips fall where they may.
I hear you, Judge. The gun threats made.
Hold on. Did he just say I don't really dabble in this part of the law? Another bad admission from a lawyer. Coffee's already going. Oh my God, it's spraying everywhere. That's what she said.
That you claimed that my client made to you in regards to bringing it to the house or whatever it may be. Did she send that via text messages?
Yes, I believe I have text messages and an audio recording of.
Have you shared that with Miss Jordan?
Yes, I have.
Just didn't see it. Okay. No further questions, Judge.
All right, any redirect, Ms. Jordan?
Just one question, Your Honor. Ms. Jackson, did you have, after the incident with the on May 10th, did you have any communication with the respondent that was not about resolving matters relating to moving out of the residence?
No.
Nothing further.
Okay, any recross?
No, Judge.
All right, anything further from the petitioner?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Pack, do you wish to put up evidence?
Judge, my client, as you heard, has a pending criminal case, Judge, so we are not going to proceed with her testimony this afternoon.
I understand. All right, closing argument.
I would like to.
Okay, no, ma'am. You're done.
Shall I go first, Judge? Or will Ms. Jordan?
This is closing argument for the attorneys.
Oh, somebody mark the time and remind me of it, because the "you're done" is getting made into a short. You're done. I love it.
Yes, I'll waive opening. I'll reserve for final close.
Judge, if I may proceed, Judge.
Sure.
From the very beginning, I think I've told you, Your Honor, that this is a very tumultuous relationship. It wasn't one where it's good that the parties aren't involved anymore. There were numerous calls to the apartment or wherever they were staying, as far as disagreements and escalation towards some violence and damaging of property. The police were called oftentimes, Judge. So tumultuous is probably a nice way of saying it. I will say this. My client has been charged with family violence battery for the allegations that Miss Jackson has made, Judge. And we are going through the court process there. We haven't gotten an arraignment date or anything like that, but we are going through that process. When my client was told to stay away directly, indirectly with the alleged victim in the case, she did so, Judge. She hasn't been in any contact through either whatever social media, text messaging, calling, showing at her place of work, showing up at her house, since the court told her to stay away. Don't do it, because if you do, you're going to get arrested. And my client took that very seriously, Judge. And now the 70, 80 phone calls, that's inappropriate behavior. 100% I agree with that, Judge. However, my client was never told, because she wasn't arrested at the time, that you cannot communicate with Miss Jackson. Again, Judge, once she was told, she stopped doing it. She cut it out. She's not wanting to go back to jail to deal with this. She has moved on with her life. Therefore, Judge, we think that the stay away order is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Why issue a TPO in the sense of, it seems like redundancy, Judge. I mean, if Ms. Jackson is concerned that my client, who has not contacted her directly or indirectly, she can reach out to the solicitor's office, and Donna Stribling's office, the solicitor will take actions accordingly, Judge. So we just think that the stay away order in place has taken effect. My client knows not to contact Ms. Jackson. She hasn't, Judge, and therefore we would ask you deny the TPO in this case.
All right.
All right, right now is your time to get in your vote. What do you think is going to happen? Will Judge Foxworth give the TPO, not give the TPO? Every time he says Miss Jackson, I go, "Ooh." And also I have a very strong desire to listen to the Macy Gray song, the famous one. I try. Like, it's probably going to be the first thing I do as soon as I can. Okay, so No TPO, yes TPO, write it in the chat, PPO, people. Also, let's check up on these, if any of y'all are being dicks still. Oh, no, not really. You're doing very well. But this is a good time to get a drink, do a med check. Oh, public service announcement. I don't know who the lady is in the top here. In the middle, sorry, right above me. But I once had a candle holder like that. Well, my mother-in-law did. And somebody lit the candles and then the wall lit on fire. Okay? So I think they're meant to be decorative. I could have saved a life today. I might have saved a life.
Thank you. Ms. Jordan?
Thank you, Judge. You've seen overwhelming evidence of multiple acts of family violence, multiple acts of stalking, regardless of, the calls that were made after this incident, even without a stay away order in place, is certainly sufficient for a claim of stalking, which is also a basis for a protective order to be granted. To the extent that there isn't a necessity for needed protection by nature of the bond conditions, Judge, as you well know, the criminal law regime and the civil law regime coexist, and certainly was designed with the notion that someone wouldn't be prevented from getting a protective order simply because the person was also arrested with a crime. The temporary protective order process is specifically designed to allow a petitioner to maintain control over the protections and have a case where she is the determinant of what happens with the case, unlike in a criminal case where that is entirely in the hands of the prosecutor's office. This process is designed so that she can assert protection for herself, which is why she's asking for that protection now. She's in fear for her safety, and frankly, there's overwhelming evidence that protective order should be granted.
All right. Well, thank you all. I will be granting the protective order, a 12-month protective order that will expire on June the 20th of 2024. Now, I believe since we bifurcated this, what I'm going to suggest here is, there were certain items listed as damages in the petition. I don't know what type of documentary evidence you have, whether there's going to be an argument over value, that sort of thing, but I'm going to give both counsel a few minutes to meet and go over those, if you would, please, to see what can be agreed upon.
Okay, here's our follow-up poll. Who believes that Gunner Pack is going to come out and say, no problem, Judge, I'll take care of that right away? Or alternatively, he's going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. What? Get your votes into the chat now. We're not done yet, by the way, guys. We still have some hearings to watch because it's still light outside. It's only 9 o'clock here. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
If not, then we'll have a very brief hearing, I hope, on that matter.
And I'm not 100% what's being asked for, Judge.
Well, there were some items on the petition, such as broken glasses. I forget what maybe half a dozen items listed on that. So do not go beyond that, Ms. Jordan. Whatever was asked for there, y'all talk about and see what you can resolve in that regard.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Thank you. Just come back when you're done.
All right. Would you like us to go into?
Yeah, if they put y'all in a breakout room or something, or y'all can talk on the phone, however you want to do
Yes,
it.
Judge, I can do a breakout room. How do you want
Okay,
me to
great.
split it up again, please?
Both
For a
attorneys.
phone call, Ms. Jordan, can you give me a call to do that?
That's fine.
Okay, they're going to do it by phone. So everybody just basically go to the waiting room, and
If it's okay, I'll put Ms. Jordan in the breakout room because she can't let us know when her phone call is done.
Oh, that's true.
But I'll move everyone else to the waiting room.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you both.
Somebody asked me today, guys, sorry, I just pulled the curtain for a moment, but we are almost ready back to go, or ready again, ready to go. Somebody asked me today in the comments, do you only cover Judge Webster's? And unfortunately for me, my last like 6 videos are all Judge Webster, one or the other of the Judge Websters. Yes, coffee machine, you're making it. Good job. Keep going. So, I answered kindly because part of me was like, you could also look at my channel and see, but then I thought it's pretty hard to do that. You make really convoluted long lives that, anyway, so whatever. I cover lots of judges, but I really particularly like Judge Webster, so get used to that. Both, but if we hear Judge Webster hum, that
This
makes
court's
me
gonna call
very
cause
happy.
number 40456. This is in the district court, Jasper County, Texas. It's in the interest of Midnight Rain Peterson. Dustin Martin, I need you to raise.
Midnight rain! Midnight rain! Midnight rain! That would be a tough one to look for in the dark and rain. People would be confused. They would not come to help you.
Your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
Yes, sir. My hand's in the air.
Dustin Martin, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Haley Peterson, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Ms. Simone, does the state have any other witnesses besides the parties?
No, sir.
All right. Your case has been called. You can call your first witness.
Okay, the state will call Miss Peterson. Miss Peterson, would you state your full name for the court's record, please?
Haley Peterson.
Okay, and do you have any safety concerns with your personal information being in today's court order?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What is the name of the child we're here for today?
Midnight Rain Peterson.
Okay, when was Midnight born?
March 12th, 22.
Oh God. Oh my God. Oh, it would take everything inside of me not to say midnight. Seriously. At the waning of the moon.
And how old is Midnight?
She's 1.
And do you and Midnight both reside together in Jasper County?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is Midnight's father?
Dustin Martin.
Okay, at this time, the state will move for the admission of the genetic test results for Midnight as State's Exhibit A.
Ms. Peterson, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged DNA test results between you, Midnight Peterson, and the alleged father, Dustin Martin. Is it okay if I look at these DNA test results?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martin, the same question. Is it okay if I look at these DNA test results?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit A is admitted into evidence. Based on the admission into evidence of State's Exhibit A, the court's going to find that the alleged father, Mr. Dustin Martin.
Okay, you guys, here's the thing. There's not much public information on here, but there is like their DNA markers, which I think is as public as private as you can get. So I'm covering it up, but I'm always interested in these, right? And so I'm looking at it, and normally I notice that it says like father or whatever, and I didn't realize, and it just says alleged father, and I thought, oh my God, we've got another one where they aren't the father. But I'm looking here at the bottom, and it is 99.9999997% paternity correct. So I've reviewed the documents, and they are, because what happened recently, somebody was like, oh, the guy should ask for a DNA test. I was like, I literally maybe should explain that I'm covering up the DNA test so that you can't steal their DNA.
Is found to be the biological and now the legal father of the child, Midnight Peterson, based on the DNA test results. Go ahead, Ms. Simone.
What do you want Midnight's last name to be?
Peterson.
Mr. Martin, They have not asked you any questions yet, okay?
Yes, sir.
Just wait for them to call your name. Go ahead.
And why do you believe that would be in her best interest?
Because she's already been that way, and my
One second, Miss Simone. Miss Peterson, can you hear me?
yes, sir.
Miss Peterson, if I see you one time look off my screen at somebody else for an answer to the question, I'm going to remove you out of my Zoom here. I'm going to do this without you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You answer the questions. Don't look at somebody else to answer the question for you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Miss Simone.
All right. Did you finish answering the question? Why do you believe keeping her last name as Peterson would be in her best interest?
Miss Simone, the follow-up question to that is, could you tell us who's in the room with you? Again, not a lawyer, just a law nerd.
To be honest, I don't know.
Is that true, Jonathan? Is she actually?
Well,
because then I'll need to beaver
I don't know.
her.
I don't think it would be a good idea to put his last name as Martin, because me and him really don't get along, and I think Peterson would fit her name, her last name.
Okay. Were you and Mr. Martin ever in a relationship?
No, yes. Sorry.
Did the two of you ever reside together?
No, ma'am.
When did you tell Mr. Martin that he could be Midnight's father?
When I was 2 weeks pregnant and I found out, I called him that day.
Since Midnight was born,
You can't know when you're 2 weeks pregnant. That's weird to me. Webster's, do you see him push back from the chair there, cross his arms? He's like, what's going on here? I'm watching this girl's face like a hawk.
Mr. Martin been providing any?
You can, Jacqueline, you can know that you're 2 weeks pregnant and they can date it and say you're 2 weeks pregnant, or they're just able to measure a certain amount of the HCG hormone that is supposed to double every day once you get pregnant. Because I'm not saying that you obviously aren't 2 weeks pregnant at some point during a pregnancy. What I'm saying is that the likelihood that she was legitimately 2 weeks pregnant, to me, and able to pick it up and knowing to pick it up and wasn't late, like all of those things strike me as odd, unless you're like trying to get pregnant. But again, I could be wrong. I got pregnant at 19. Hi, Autumn, by the way. I got pregnant and I'm not saying that she didn't have a pregnancy test that probably said 2 weeks. Like I've seen those tests on YouTube, people get taken tests and stuff. But oh, you're welcome, people in court. First of all, you deserve it for coming late. And go ahead and hit the like button, please. I joke, guys. People in Court, another friend of the channel. Make sure you're subbed to her stuff as well. She gives me a hard time. I love it. So join in with her when making fun of me. I enjoy it. Anyways, it just sounds a little sus. When she could say, when I first found out, and it wouldn't make me weirded out at all. It's just like 2 weeks, you know? Oh, Tin Man, that's a good idea. What I should show is the paddle that I broke on my butt. I think I can show that.
any financial support?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court for any back child support today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who does Midnight live with?
Me and my parents.
Okay. And how long has she lived with you?
For a year.
Okay. Who makes the important decisions for Midnight?
Me.
Who makes the day-to-day decisions?
Me.
And when did Mr. Martin last see her?
Never.
Okay. So Mr. Martin presently has no relationship whatsoever with Midnight?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And he's never seen her?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What safety concerns do you have with the court ordering visitation?
He can see her, but either one of my parents or I would have to be there for him to see her. I don't feel comfortable leaving her alone with him, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. What type of health insurance does Midnight have?
I think it's Texas Children.
I will go ahead and pass this witness.
Call your next witness.
Okay, I will call Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, would you state your full name? Would you state your full name for the court's record, please?
Dustin Ray Martin.
Okay. And you are Midnight Peterson's father, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Now I know that.
Okay. And what do you want Midnight's last name to be?
I'd rather it be Martin.
Okay. And why do you believe that's in her best interest?
Well, for the simple fact is, I know I ain't been there for the little girl, and it's not really my fault because Haley personally, she doesn't like my mom or any of my family.
You were starting off so good, buddy. I haven't seen this yet, guys. He was starting off so good. He could have just said, I haven't been given the opportunity to be there for my daughter. I want to be. And Judge Webster would give him visitation with a phased in schedule. No problem. If he starts to disparage this girl, that's not going to go well for him. I'm trying to determine if I think the child's a girl, but I don't.
Family. And the reason that is because my mom's a dope head. Literally, that's all she does is drugs. I don't know. Haley personally, she doesn't like my mom or any of my family. And the reason that is because my mom's a dope head. Literally, that's all she does is drugs. I don't associate with her, don't have nothing to do with her. I got my own house to take care of things I got to take care of. I work. Other than that, I mean, I'd like the little girl to have my last name.
Okay.
Personally, because my daughter, I want her to have a part of me,
Okay. When did Ms. Peterson tell you that you could be Midnight's father?
A little bit after she, told me she was 2 weeks pregnant. I came back from Alabama for about 2 months after being in a relationship with her. And then she finally told me she was pregnant, so I didn't believe it was mine because I was in Alabama at the time. But I guess she was longer pregnant than that. I'm not sure. And then that's the reason why I wanted to go forward with the paternity test.
Okay. Have you ever provided any type of financial support for Midnight?
No, ma'am, I haven't. And the simple reason why is because I haven't, seen her, had any way of associating with her, any of that.
Who does Midnight live with?
She lives with her.
And who makes the major life decisions for Midnight?
I have no say so in anything that goes on over there
Okay.
at all.
And have you ever seen Midnight?
No, ma'am, but I really want to.
Okay. So you would like to have a relationship with Midnight?
Yes, ma'am, I would.
Okay. And are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, where do you work?
I work for STI at OCI.
Okay. And how long have you worked there?
I've been working there for the past 2-3 months.
Okay. And are you paid hourly or a salary?
I'm paid hourly.
Okay. How much are you paid per hour?
I make $18 an hour.
Okay. And do you work 40 hours per week?
I work at least 43.
43? Okay. So do you work some overtime?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your overtime rate?
It really and truly, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I just work and get paid.
And what did you do prior to this job?
New construction.
Okay. And what were you paid at that job?
This is basically the same thing.
Okay. And is this current job, is this a contract position?
No, ma'am. This guy owns his own company, so.
Okay, so it's pretty steady work. It's steady work. Is the job that you have now steady work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like I skipped work today to be in court.
Okay. Do you have any other biological children under the age of 18?
No, ma'am. That's the only child I have.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pass the witness.
Call your next witness.
No further witnesses.
You do construction work, Mr. Martin?
Yes, sir.
No. And you've been with SGI for 2 or 3 months?
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the company you were with before?
That's really my first job. Other than that, I was working for American Fence before I went and applied at. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this is your first big time construction job?
Yes, sir.
All right. So do you anticipate this is going to be a permanent spot, or is this going to be till the job's done, then you got to find someplace else to work?
Until the job's done.
All right. So you're going to be job hopping because you're in construction?
Something like that. I mean, the guy that owns his own company, I kind of been working with him a lot lately.
Right. Hey, Mr. Martin, you don't have to make excuses, okay? This is construction. It's construction work. I grew up with it. All of my family's still in it. So I understand how you bounce around from one place to the next, from one job to the next.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's just the nature of Southeast Texas construction work.
The only thing he loves more than construction workers is babies crying and correct numbers from lawyers. Oh, and parents that work together. Fuck. That gets him going. Hayden, I find that he understands most everything in front of him. I've rarely seen it. I've seen most judges, I've been like, oh, I think they misunderstood that. But this one, I don't think I've seen Judge Webster ever and been like, oh, I don't think he got that. Here's an old school reference for you. He loves long walks in the morning with Mr. Messer. Does anybody remember that channel? I used to watch that court channel all the time with Mr. Messer, and he would talk about how much he walks. I actually think he scares Miss Simone more than he scares Miss Overstreet. I actually think Miss Simone's name is Miss Simon, and Judge Webster just called her Miss Simone, and now she's adopted that as her last name, but it's really Simon.
That's the easy part. Let's deal with the hard part. All right, so Miss Peterson, you said that you wanted Midnight's last name to remain Peterson. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said you wanted that just because that's part of the reason was because that's the only name she's ever known.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a really stupid question?
Yes, sir.
If I asked Midnight what her last name was, would she be able to tell me?
No, sir.
All right. So she really doesn't know what her last name is, right?
No, sir.
See, here's the thing I want y'all to understand. I've been doing this a long time, and I know little kids. I deal with little kids all the time. And it's okay. You weren't ready for that question. You weren't sure how you should answer it. So let me see if I can help. All right. So right now I got a child that's 15 months old, and I'm sure she's gorgeous. I'm sure she's happy. I'm sure she's well taken care of. And she's about to have a new person involved in her life. To be honest with both of y'all, her last name is not really my concern. I got lots of concerns in this case, and the child's last name ain't one of them. More than likely, at some point in time in her future, she's probably going to grow up and get married. And when she does, she's going to have a completely different last name after that. So even though it'd be nice if we had a name we could come up with, we're not able to do that. So we're going to have to figure out something different. Like right now, the child's last name is Peterson. The parties do not agree that the child's last name needs to be changed. Mr. Martin wants the child's last name to change. Ms. Peterson does not. There is absolutely no statute, no law in regards to how the child's last name should be determined. It's just simply my decision. It's not even appealable because there's no law that says how it's supposed to be. All right. My suggestion is, and in cases like this, what I usually do is I say, you know what? I got a great mom. I got a dad who wants to be a dad. I'll hyphenate the name and I'll change the child's last name to Peterson/Martin. How do you think about that, Miss Peterson?
That's fine.
Mr. Martin, what do you think about that?
I'm okay with it. Like you
All
said, it really doesn't matter.
I grew up with a hyphenated last name. It is annoying, but yeah, I know the life. I know the poor life for Midnight. My name is not Midnight. My real name is not Midnight, but it is equally as unusual as a name, I guess you could say. And so I spent my entire life restating my name, and Midnight will too. Midnight will too.
It does matter. It matters to y'all. And I didn't want to come across as it doesn't matter to me, because it does matter to me. It's just in the grand scheme of things of what's really important to me about Midnight. And the last name is not on the list of very important things. Okay. But
Yes, sir.
I'm glad y'all both agreed that we can do that. So we're going to do that. All right. That's, like I say, that was the easy part. Let's talk about the visitation. Now, Miss Peterson, Mr. Martin has had no contact with the child. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want you both to understand something. I don't blame anybody that Mr. Martin hasn't had contact, because it's not going to change anything. If I could go back in time and fix it then so that Mr. Martin's contact rights with Midnight started a year ago, I would do that. I don't have a time machine, so I can't fix it. The only thing that I can do is try to start something from this point forward so that Mr. Martin gets to know his child. Right? It's not Mr. Martin's fault. It's not Miss Peterson's fault. And it certainly is not Midnight's fault. Now, Miss Peterson, you said something that I need to correct for you right up front, okay? When Miss Simone asked you about Midnight spending time with Mr. Martin, you said that you, Miss Peterson, wouldn't feel comfortable. You ready for a real big time wet fish right in the face? I don't care about your comfort. Your comfort is of absolutely no relevance to me. Midnight's comfort is of utmost relevance to me. You understand? I can't make you comfortable. All I can do is try to set the situation up the best of my ability so that Midnight is comfortable. So what you did say about Mr. Martin having supervised contact, that is certainly going to happen. Mr. Martin hasn't had any contact with Midnight. Midnight has to get to know him. Okay. And I'm going to set up a phased in visitation schedule that I hope will make that happen. All right. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take Mr. Martin some time to get to know Midnight and for Midnight to get to know Mr. Martin. Okay, Ms. Peterson? All right. Can you say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right. So my phased in visitation schedule goes like this. I do a certain number of supervised visits for Mr. Martin for say 4 hours. And then I do a certain number of unsupervised visits again for 4 hours. And then I do a certain number of unsupervised visits where Mr. Martin gets the child for the whole day, 1 day. And then I do a certain number of visits after that where Mr. Martin gets 1 night overnight. Okay. So you see, each time I increase the phase, Mr. Martin gets a little more time with Midnight so that Midnight will know. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm thinking I need 10 visits at each phase. That means that Mr. Martin would have 10 supervised visits. When those supervised visits are done, then Mr. Martin would have 10 unsupervised visits for the half a day. And then when those 10 visits are done, then
That's going to take him 20 months. By the time he is done, this child will be 3.
Mr. Martin would have 10 unsupervised visits for the day. When those 10 visits are done, then Mr. Martin would have 10 one-night overnights. When he got done with that last phase, then he would have standard possession, which is weekends, holidays, summers, that kind of stuff. Now that's 10 visits. That's not 10 months or 10 weeks. That's 10 visits. So if he does every visit the way I just said, he's going to get 2 visits a month. Okay, generally. So it's going to take him 5 months to get every visit done that I just described before he would have standard possession. So 5 times 4 will be 20. So at that point in time,
Judge Webster, you're wrong. What are you fucking talking about? Do the math. Math the math. He gets 2 visits a month. You said 10 per phase. So you mean 5 months per phase. That's what you mean. You just said 5 months until he has standard possession. But you also are about to say she'll be almost 3 by the time he gets standard possession. Let's just back that up for a minute and see if I'm right.
weeks, that's 10 visits. So if he does every visit the way I just said, he's going to get 2 visits a month. Okay, generally. So it's going to take him 5 months to get every visit done that I just described before he would have standard possession. So 5 times 4 will be 20. So at that point in time, I would assume that Midnight would be about 3.5 years old. That's about the time that the law says that Mr. Martin should have weekend visits with the child. You following with me so far, Ms. Peterson?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Peterson, in your opinion, do you think that Midnight would have enough time based on my schedule to get to know Mr. Martin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Martin, based on the information that I just gave you, do you think that Midnight would have enough time to get to know you over that next 2 years?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now listen, y'all, that's what I'm going to do in this case, 10 at each phase. But I want you both to know something. Part of my court order is going to say that Mr. Martin can have visitation at any and all times mutually agreed to by the parties. You don't have to follow my schedule. If you, Ms. Peterson, and you, Mr. Martin, agree to change my schedule, you can do that. But it will mean that you have to agree to change it. Okay? If Ms. Peterson doesn't agree to change it, then you got to stick to my schedule. If Mr. Martin doesn't agree to change it, then you have to stick to my schedule. If either party feels like the schedule is not working, then you always have the right to hire an attorney and go back and change my schedule. All right? You always have that right.
Yes, sir.
You understand that, Ms. Peterson?
Yes, sir.
You understand that, Mr. Martin?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Now's the time to ask it.
Say I was at work for one of my visitation days and I'm not able to see her. How would that go? Like, would the next day, if I'm free, I'd have a visit? Or
the only time that's going to be a real problem for you, Mr. Martin, is for the supervised visits, which are the first 10. If you can't do the visit, then it's not going to make any difference. because you have to do the supervised visit.
So I would just miss the visit.
You would miss the visit for the supervised visit, but not for the other 30. Any visits after the first supervised visits, Mr. Martin, you could send somebody to go pick up the child, and then you could meet them somewhere to have some time with the child. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, if you decide to do that, that is your right, Mr. Martin. You don't have to be the person to go get midnight. You can send somebody else to go get midnight for you. You understand?
Yes, sir, I do.
But I need you to understand, Mr. Martin, that there's some conditions in there. Miss Peterson would never allow some unknown strange person to take her child.
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
if you send somebody she doesn't know, that child's not getting in the car.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes, y'all, believe it or not, common sense plays into this more than anything else. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions, Miss Peterson?
No, sir.
Any other question, Mr. Martin?
No, sir.
Court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find, based on the testimony of the parties, that it is certain in Midnight's best interest to name the parties as joint managed conservators, with Miss Peterson as the primary parent, has the right to establish the residence of the child. I'm going to order Miss Peterson to maintain the health insurance that she has on the child, and I'm going to set child support against Mr. Martin based on his testimony. Child support in this case is going to be set at $465 per month, plus an additional $80 a month in cash medical. Retroactive child support will be granted in this case, but not for full time. $2,000 in retroactive child support, Ms. Simone. That'll be paid back at a rate of $30 a month, all payments beginning July the 1st of 2023. The last name of the child is going to be changed from this point forward to Peterson-Martin. Court cost by Mr. Martin, but I'll give him until December 31st of 2023. There will be a phased-in visitation schedule for the child with 10 visits at each phase, as I described. Does that take care of all the issues in this case?
Yes, sir.
I really love it when he says, "Did the state of Texas hear all the conditions of my order?" Maybe he won't say it though.
I believe so.
All right. Ms. Peterson and Mr. Martin, what's going to happen now is the state's going to send me an order. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. And then they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you, okay?
Yes, sir.
I got a young baby in front of me today. She's going to need two parents to have the best opportunities that she has in the future to grow up good and strong. All right? Y'all take advantage of the chance. Y'all take advantage of the chance that I gave you today. Good luck to you both. You're both free to go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Judge Webster spitting truth. He don't care what you think. All he wants to do is make those parents think about midnight. Okay. On that note, I would love to leave you all. I had a wonderful evening, fabulous time. Brain is full of rhymes in court, and I am excited. Where are we going now? Well, I am going to make some videos and I'm going to post them. What I'd love for you guys to do is go watch some videos from some of the creators I feature on my channel. Go make sure you're subbed to Tommy V and MI. Like, let's get him over 1,000 subs soon. Hector Cam Clips. We should be posting your stuff too, Hector. Right? We got to get everybody up. So much YouTube daddy to go around. Okay. I love you guys so much. Very much appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow. Oh, okay. So time serves off tomorrow. So that means I'm doing the early shift. So show title, 14 servings of sugar. Yeah. That is very good. I'm going to have to call it double. I gotta put double in there anyways. But seriously, I appreciate all of you guys. I'm gonna be on the early shift tomorrow because time served is off. I just remembered that. But if you're looking for me to see how I'm procrastinating from my day, look for me with Credence and Mikey, the 16K boys. Oh my gosh. So proud of them. So proud of everybody. I'm proud of you. And I love you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Remember, a double double is 14 fucking sugars.